long-lost movie props from a classic television series going to be auctioned off. I'll tell you the props, and who knows, perhaps if you have an interest, it's an auction. You're with Charlie and Mike and Jonathan together here on a Morning Team Wednesday. Temp is 63, about 77 for a high, expectations of sunshine. Isolated shower? Well, I think you'll hear it referenced in the forecast, but the key is going to be isolated. We have sports to do. The focus is on baseball's All-Star game. Although the Tigers had some more draft picks we can talk about. Kim Commando at 6:25. Your bank wants your voice. What's that all about? Kim will tell us coming up at 6:25. More news to tell you about now in the WSGW newsroom. Here's Mike Percha.
Thank you, Charlie. Good morning, everyone. A Munger woman will be charged with felonies after allegedly causing a crash in Bay County March 13th that claimed the lives of two Genesee County men. Police say the 41-year-old woman was working at My Brother's Bar on M13 in Cucaulin and became intoxicated during her shift, leaving the bar in a Chevy Cruze around 10 p.m. Police say the woman drove the wrong way on I-75 and crashed into a Chevy Impala. The two men in the Impala, 33-year-old Brandon Edwards and 39-year-old Ronald Wells, were killed at the scene. A 30-year-old woman in the car was also injured, as was the suspect. Police say she had a blood alcohol level of 0.189, which is considered a super drunk in the state of Michigan. She's facing charges of operating a motor vehicle with a high blood alcohol content causing death and operating a motor vehicle with a high blood alcohol content causing serious injury. The bar she worked at was also fined with charges of furnishing alcohol to an intoxicated person, allowing an intoxicated person to consume liquor on the premises, and allowing an employee to be on the premises in a drunken condition. A woman was critically injured in a crash in Grand Blanc on Monday. Police say the 64-year-old resident was walking across Grand Blanc Road near Davis Street with her dog when they were struck by a vehicle driven by a 72-year-old Grand Blanc man. The woman suffered severe head injuries and was taken to Hurley Medical Center. Her dog was killed in the crash. Police say the driver is cooperating in the investigation. Alcohol does not appear to be a factor in the crash. Police in Flint are looking for a man recently reported missing. 28-year-old DeMargio Phipps was last seen at Carriagetown Mission in the 600 block of Garland Street in Flint July 1st. Police say he was wearing jeans and a casual t-shirt. Phipps is described as black, standing 5'9" and weighing around 130 pounds. He has black hair with natural locks and brown eyes. Anyone with information on Phipps' whereabouts is urged to call 911 or the Flint Police Department. The Michigan Department of Transportation is conducting an overnight closure of eastbound US 10 for the Mackinac Road overpass. That will take place starting tonight at 8 p.m. and end tomorrow around 5 in the morning. Eastbound US 10 traffic will be closed and detoured at the Mackinac Road ramps, or you can find an alternate route if possible. The Humane Society of Midland County is hosting a pet-friendly fundraiser at the Midland Brewing Company tonight from 4:30 to 7 p.m. The annual Pints for Pups event will feature games, food, music, raffles, and more. Entry is a donation of $15 to the Humane Society, which includes a pint glass and one free beer. The music will be provided by the band Marsupial Cream Pie. Midland Brewing Company is located at 5011 Saginaw Road in Midland. WSGW News Time, 6:10.
Attention Saginaw, after 25 amazing years at our current location, Binkelman Corporation is moving to a brand new facility at 1646 Champaign Drive North in Saginaw. Since 1946, Binkelman has served agriculture, mining, construction, and asphalt industries. At Binkelman, we offer total solutions from parts procurement, fluid power to production, fabrication, assembly, and installation. We build lasting relationships, solve problems, and have fun doing it. Call Binkelman today at 989-755-6330.
Get so many great deals this week with one stop at Meijer. This week's hottest deals include Southern Peaches for 99 cents per pound, fresh from Meyer Family Pack chicken breasts for $2.29 per pound. And Meyer shredded, sliced, or chunked cheese, 3 for $5. Plus, save even more with M-Perks when you shop in-store, online, and with every qualifying prescription filled at the Meyer Pharmacy. Meyer has everything you need in just one stop. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in-store or in the Meyer app.
WSGW News Time, 6:11. Grand Rapids police are investigating after 5 people may have overdosed in Hartside Park over the past couple days. In a Facebook post, Grand Rapids police say 5 non-fatal overdoses happened at the park. Police say it's possible a tainted batch of heroin is the cause. Police say the Red Project provides kits of the opioid overdose reversal drug Narcan. Something cool is happening on the beach along Lake Michigan in Ludington today. Grand Valley State University's Annis Water Resource Institute will demonstrate its B-Bot to clean up the beach.
We've got a semi-autonomous robot called the B-Bot, which basically goes along the beach sand and collects debris, largely plastics we're focused on right now. We've had this B-Bot for over a year, but this is the first time we're getting up to Ludington and Stearns Park to do the beach cleaning.
Annis Water Resources Institute researcher Professor Alan Steinman says some 20 million pounds of plastic could be entering the Great Lakes every year, the source of drinking water for 40 million Americans and Canadians. He says fish are eating microplastics, which can kill them. He says the real solution is to reduce the use of single-use plastics. The Coast Guard is looking into what caused an oily sheen on waters near Sault Ste. Marie. On Monday night, the oil was seen drifting down the St. Mary's River. Pollution responders believe 10 gallons of an unknown product was spilled. A floating boom was placed in the water to contain the spill and help absorb it. The source is not known at this time. And Charlie, there's a project the Oakland County Road Commission says will alert drivers before they come into contact with a hazard. The Road Commission is teaming up with Lawrence Tech University and P3 Mobility for a project called Connected Vehicle to Everything. The project will install technology into road infrastructure, which will communicate to drivers in real time. Aaron Milligan, CEO of P3 Mobility, says the technology will also reduce emergency response times, insurance costs, and improve congestion on the roads.
You can have a sensor alert on your mirror that's giving you information that there's a vehicle in your blind spot. But this is radio communications technology that doesn't rely on sensors or cameras in your vehicle. It's getting information from the infrastructure that's communicating to the vehicle to give the vehicle alerts about hazards. And right now, the driver will be given that alert, but in the future, the vehicle itself will be able to react to that information.
Milligan says she thinks within the next 2 to 5 years, most residents will have the technology in their vehicles that will be able to respond to the new infrastructure.
Really? That quick? Because I was going to ask if there was a timeline, but 2 to 5 years, I mean, that
is pretty quick for something of that scope.
Yeah, and to think, well, we'll find out as we are here on this July 17, 2024. By 2030, perhaps we'll have the answer of if it actually happened. Weather's happening, and the update on WSGW. We have WNEM First Alert Meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Quite a comfortable day is ahead as far as our humidity and temperatures go. We have a high of 77 today. Dew points falling back into the 50s, all thanks to the pattern change finally starting to settle in. And we still have a couple of isolated showers in the forecast for today. Even an isolated thunderstorm is possible too, but we'd expect any storm activity to stay below severe limits going into today. As we go into tonight, we'll have mostly clear skies, low of 54, just a few clouds lingering across the thumb. Specifically, also on Thursday in the thumb, we're still maintaining a 10% chance of showers. Otherwise, conditions very dry going into your Thursday. Mostly sunny, of a high of 75 tomorrow, 80 and sunny on Friday. Humidity still staying low. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
It is a barometer of 2987 and rising. And it's a west wind at 63 degrees at WSGW. Your connection to the Great Lakes Bay region and your connection to the world. We're ready to go with the sports next on WSGW.
I'm Paul Young, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Build the wall, deport illegals, put America first. That's Paul Young's plan, the conservative choice for Congress. pro-Trump and proud of it. Paul Young will secure our border and bring back Michigan jobs. Young served in President Trump's administration, enforcing immigration law to keep illegals out. That's why Young's been with Trump since 2016 and never wavered. But Mary Draves, she serves Democrats. Gretchen Whitmer handpicked Draves to her climate council to push tax hikes and mandates on Michiganders. It's no wonder why Draves backed Biden's Green New Deal and opposed Trump's policies to protect American workers. Draves even donated to Trump-hating Democrats who tried to impeach him. We can't trust Mary Draves to stand with Trump, and Michigan can't afford to send her to Congress. Paid for by Paul Young for Congress.
6:16. It is sports on WSGW, and it is baseball's All-Star game. That got the focus from last night as the American and National League Stars were playing in Texas at Arlington. And in the end, the American League gets the victory. 5-3 the final score. It was a 3-3 game in the fifth when Jarren Duran hit a two-run homer. Duran was named the MVP for that game when he hit. It was a scoreless game until that fifth inning when Shohei Ohtani hit a three-run homer for all the National League runs. And then the American League came back and tied it in the bottom of the third. I think I said in the fifth. It was a tie game in the fifth, but the runs that were scored 3-3 were all scored in the third before that Jarren Duran two-run homer. Tigers, Tarek Skubal pitched a perfect second inning, and Riley Green saw action out in left field. Got a couple of catches. He batted twice, flew out to center field, and struck out. Tigers still off until Friday at Toronto. More draft picks from Major League Baseball's draft. The Tigers choosing Micah Ashman from the University of Utah, Lucas Elisalt from Chipola College, Preston Howie from St. Mary's College, Hanson Siebert from a high school in Kansas, Bryce Aylwine from Southern Union State, a junior college, Chase Davis from a high school in Florida, Dawson Price, an Eastern Oklahoma State junior college player. Those all pitchers. And then there was an infielder, Jude Warwick from a high school in Illinois. There's an outfielder, Zach McDonald from Miami of Ohio, and Gabriel Rosado, a catcher from Carlos Beltran Baseball. Lots of pitching, though, the Tigers are hoping will click into the future. Minor leagues on All-Star break, too, so the Loons are off until Friday, going to be at the Lansing Lugnuts. Pistons played Summer League basketball last night and got a victory against the Chicago Bulls, 85-77 the final. Jace Johnson led with 19 points, and that came off the bench. Marcus Sass is 17. Ron Holland got action for the first time, got 17 points. Bobby Clinton only scored 5 points, but he also had 12 rebounds. Pistons did have to overcome 20 turnovers, a little sloppy, but a victory. It's your sports on WSGW, and it's 6:19.
When's the last time you had your air ducts cleaned? When it comes to your home cleaning checklist, air ducts are easy to miss. Out of sight, out of mind. But if you find yourself dusting a lot or want to reduce allergies in your home, it's time for a cleaning from the Mod Team. Protecting your indoor air quality is simple and quick.
Modernistic, simple and quick. We're the first with experience and quality.
Schedule at modernistic.com and get $75 off air duct cleaning with offer code FRESH75.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, my son's teacher emailed his back to school list. He needs crayons and a comp book for every subject.
Okay, no problem. With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find super low prices on hundreds of items for back to school.
Oh, now they're saying he needs folders and glue.
You got it.
And markers?
Of course.
Oh, geez.
Can we get a cart, please?
Save big on back to school with Staples Hot Deals. Right now, 24-pack Crayola crayons and comp books are only 50 cents each at Staples. Ends 8/24, in-store only, limit 30.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Once long lost, but now found, iconic props from a television series going to be auctioned off in November, but the auction house has announced it, and we're letting you know in case you'd like to get in on the fun. You're with Charlie and Mike and Jonathan, your morning team here on WSGW. It is Julian's Auctions in partnership with Turner Classic Movies, announcing that, among other items, the phaser and communicator from Captain Kirk. Again, these particular ones were thought to be lost. These were props that were made in 1966.
Wow.
Lost for more than 50 years. Actually turned up in the collection, it says, of a recently deceased man who worked in the Hollywood prop industry for many years.
Oh, they weren't hanging out with Dorothy's shoes?
No, they weren't hanging out with Dorothy's shoes.
No, they're not made of rubies, so there's no reason to steal those.
Don Hillebrand is a Star Trek prop expert, and he authenticated the items as the hero versions used on screen in multiple episodes of the series. So I'm like, hero versions? What is that?
The real ones.
Yeah, these are the ones.
The real phasers.
that they say were meticulously crafted because they feature intricate details and moving parts that set them aside as exceedingly rare pieces and believed to have been lost to time.
So the ones that were meant for close-ups.
Yeah,
Yes.
we actually had to see something
Yeah.
happen. It wasn't
That's
just
cool.
one of those. Yeah, wouldn't that be? So there's no suggestion here of what the starting bidding might be or what they might even get. I'm sure Star Trek fans will be interested, and probably just people who have memorabilia minded possibilities too. So on the morning team page, first of all, here's an official picture. That's the actual items from Julian Auctions.
There they are.
There they are. And I put a link up. This is supposed to happen in
They look
November.
very 60s.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, in comparative terms,
60s sci-fi.
high-tech 60s sci-fi in the 60s, but in the 2000s.
Does that have a wooden handle on it?
Doesn't it look like that? The
Phaser?
phaser?
I've got to wonder, though, something that was built in the 60s looks simpler, and something that's created for modern film looks, all high-tech and gadgety, but maybe simple is better.
It was very effective for Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
Phasers worked on stun.
It doesn't need all the tactical stuff if it's functional.
And imagine that. A communicator. What did it do? It communicated.
You couldn't play Tetris on it?
Couldn't play Tetris on it. couldn't access the internet. It just simply communicated. So if you had your choice, which one would you rather have? Would you want the phaser or would you want the communicator?
I'm more of a Picard fan.
Sorry, it's a Kirk choice this morning. I'm trying to think.
I'd go with the phaser, the
I'd
wooden
go-
handle thing.
I'd go with the phaser because by the time the Star Trek got updated, the communicators were right on their chest.
That's true.
Yeah, just had
on
to
the
tap
logo. Tap the logo.
But wouldn't that communicator be more valuable then? Because by the time Star Trek got updated, they weren't
Oh.
using the handheld ones.
Yeah. How about you just get both and you don't have to worry about it?
I don't have that
think,
kind of money.
I think I might want the communicator only because I could carry that communicator around.
Yeah.
The phaser, you might get some looks since it does look like a weapon. Although I got to say, the communicator looks more like a garage door opener to me. People, what are you trying to do? Open my garage. I tell you what I'd really like, though. I mean, if you had your choice of props from Star Trek, it's got to be the food replicator.
Oh.
I mean, come on.
but
like for real?
Yeah, I want a real one, not a.
Oh yeah, no,
I don't want to replicate a replica.
if something that could actually work and be,
Yeah.
Is there something I'm missing?
The thing about the food replicators in Star Trek is it's not making the actual food. It's making something that looks, smells, tastes, and for all intents and purposes feels like the food, but it's actually just like protein or like whatever you need to survive.
Well, that's okay. That works for me because
Cut some pounds, maybe.
To me, eating's a waste of time anyway. So just give me that protein, and I'm happy.
There's also
if it looks like a Pop-Tart, it's fine.
Yeah. There's also the medical device that they just wave over you, and they know exactly what's wrong with you.
The scanner that Bones used. Oh, yeah, boy, solve your medical problems like that. Even guys. I mean, you don't have to go to the doctor. You can solve your own problems. Just scan yourself. Well, again, if you have an interest in at least the communicator and the phaser, Julian's auctions, November 9th, but I put a link up so you can get yourself registered so you can get continuous updates. There's a reference that says here regarding this auction. It says that over 100 items from your favorite franchise titles. So I don't know if that means there'll be other auction items from Star Trek or other TV shows or not, but at least I know this is from Star Trek.
Well, how do they know what my favorite franchises are?
Maybe. Well, the Star Trek, maybe they're using some kind of Spock would know. We've got Kim Commando coming up. Your bank wants your voice. Kim says, why? Kim will explain coming up.
Hi, this is Art Lewis. McDonald Ford in Freeland is my dealer of choice. They should be yours, too. Stop in and visit them at 6790 Midland Road in Freeland. McDonald Ford.
Broadcasting online, courtesy Stormmaster Exteriors. And from the Stormmaster Exteriors studios, this is WSGW.
You've already handed over your birthday, social security number, and your mom's maiden name to your bank. Now they want your voice, too. I'm Kim Commando for Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Accelerate your AI workload today. Take a free test drive at oracle.com/Kim. Banks say voice authentication is an extra layer of protection against fraud and cybercrime. But is it really worth it? If you're skeptical of your bank having your voice data on record, you're not crazy. You're smart. A voice can be cloned using AI for just a few dollars with as little as 10 seconds of audio. Frightening. No matter how much money you have in the bank, hackers want it. Call your bank's customer service line that you see on its official website and opt out of voice authentication. And if a bank is asking for your voice, say no. Stay smart, though. Turn on alerts for any changes to your bank account, enable two-factor authentication, and set your bank account to automatically lock after a certain number of failed login attempts. If you need a vacation, I'm giving away a $1,000 gift card right now at winfromkim.com. AI might be the most important new computer technology ever. It's storming every industry, and literally billions of dollars are being invested. So buckle up. The problem is that AI needs a lot of speed and processing power. So how do you compete without costs spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a single platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs. OCI has 4 to 8 times the bandwidth of other clouds, offers one consistent price instead of variable regional pricing, and of course, nobody does data better than Oracle. So now you can train your AI models at twice the speed and less than half the cost of other clouds. If you want to do more and spend less like Uber, 8x8, and Databricks Mosaic, take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/Kim. That's oracle.com/Kim, oracle.com/Kim.
Did you know Washington wants to pick your next car for you? The EPA's new de facto car ban will make Washington your backseat driver. It will ban 2 out of every 3 new gas-powered vehicles by 2032. 2 out of 3. That could be your next car or truck. Protect your right to drive your way. Say no to the EPA's vehicle ban. Take action at energycitizens.org. Paid for by the American Petroleum Institute.
Some Facebook fun, I guess I'll call it, we'll have for you coming up on WSGW. We're going to do some listener response to a couple of posts we had from yesterday, including a little follow-up from our potato discussion from yesterday, and from baseball's All-Star game last night. I had to say something, I did, and appreciate listeners who were on the same page. We'll get to that for you coming up on WSGW. Charlie and Mike and Jonathan, a Wednesday where the temperature right now is 63, maybe 77 for a high with sunshine today. Let's get back into the newsroom, and here's Mike Percha.
Thank you, Charlie. Good morning, everyone. No injuries were reported in a house fire in Hemlock yesterday. Fire crews from the Richland Township Fire Department responded to the 16,000 block of Doyle Street around 3:10 a.m. to find smoke coming from the home. According to fire officials, it began in the attic and may have been caused by an electrical issue, though the exact cause has not been determined at this time. The occupants of the house, 2 people and several pets, were able to evacuate safely before crews arrived. A drive-by shooting in Bad Axe on Saturday has resulted in charges against 2 of the city's residents. Police arrested 27-year-old Demondre Williams and 41-year-old Jody Lee Tibbetts Saturday afternoon after a house was shot at around 1:45 that morning. Police say the pair pulled up to the house in the 300 block of South Silver Street and fired 11 rounds from a semi-automatic handgun. No one inside the house was injured. Police say the pair likely targeted the wrong house. Williams is charged with felony firearm discharge in or at a building, carrying a concealed weapon, and other felonies. Tibbetts is charged with firearm discharge in or at a building, carrying with unlawful intent, and carrying a concealed weapon. Their next court appearance is August 2nd for a preliminary hearing. An airline operating from Flint Bishop International Airport now has inexpensive flights to Florida. Allegiant Airlines has announced it will be offering nonstop flights to airports in New Hampshire, Georgia, New York, and Florida from some of the airports from which it operates. In Flint, the airline will have a nonstop flight to Destin Fort Walton Beach Airport for fares starting at $59. The flights will begin November 15th. Visit allegiant.com for more information. My Michigan Medical Center in Clare officially broke ground on a new 51,000 square foot expansion and revitalization project yesterday. The project comes in 2 phases, with the first including construction of a new 2-story section to house a new emergency department, a new inpatient unit with all private rooms, and an expanded imaging department, including a fixed MRI unit. Access to the medical center for 24/7 outpatient services, including lab, X-ray, and CT imaging, will also be improved. Phase 2 of the project includes construction of a new main entrance and canopy, as well as a plaza connecting the campus aesthetically to the downtown area. Improvements include a better patient entry and wayfinding, and complete renovation of first-floor public space to include a patient registration, first-floor dining, the Shamrock Patch gift shop, and access to outpatient services. Construction for Phase 1 is expected to last 14 months, while Phase 2 will immediately follow Phase 1 and will take around 8 months. WSGW News Time, 6:33.
Hello, I'm Shep.
And I'm Mark.
And we're the friendly board-certified entomologists from Rose Pest Solutions.
Hey, Shep, I've got a riddle for you.
Hit me.
Why don't anteaters get sick?
I don't know.
Because they're filled with antibodies.
You know, Mark, there are thousands of ant species that can run amok in your home.
To be effective, you've got to keep them straight.
The pros from Rose can correctly identify the ant and solve the problem.
Protect your health and home. Call 800-966-ROSE. Rose will get the best of your pest.
Incoming transmission from RocketGrabPlus.com.
Looking to relax? Then we have a fantastic deal for you this week at RocketGrabPlus.com. Get half off a gift certificate to the Healing Room Wellness and Med Spa in Saginaw. Good for use in the sauna, float tank, salt rooms, and more. A $75 value, yours for only $37.50. Plus, from now through August, new members at the Healing Room Wellness and Med Spa can get their first month of membership for only $1. Get your hands on this amazing offer before it's gone, exclusively from RocketGrabPlus.com.
Transmission terminated.
WSGW News Time, 6:34. The Oakland County Sheriff's Department is urging water safety after another death on a local lake. Yesterday, a 21-year-old man from Highland Township died after drowning while swimming in Townsend Lake in Independence Township. First responders located the man about 100 feet from shore within minutes of arriving on the scene, but were unable to revive him. A 20-year-old cyclist was hit and killed by an SUV as he tried to cross a road in Portage on Tuesday afternoon. First responders tried to help the cyclist, but he died at the scene. The SUV driver, a 76-year-old woman, was not injured. A 71-year-old Warren man is charged for allegedly smothering his 70-year-old wife to death with a pillow. Here's a Michigan News Network.
On Saturday afternoon, James Henches called 911 saying he had killed his wife, Cheryl, inside their home. He says he then attempted to take his own life, but failed and then decided to turn himself in. Police found 70-year-old Cheryl Henches dead inside the home. James was taken into custody and held at a hospital before being moved to Macomb County Jail. Macomb County Prosecutor Peter Lucido charged Henches with first-degree premeditated murder. Lucido says the murder has left the community in mourning. James Henches has been denied bond. He's expected in court next week. Jay Dennis for the Michigan News Network.
Many boards across the state of Michigan will soon be eliminated or repurposed. In an executive order, Governor Gretchen Whitmer says the move will minimize overlap and redundancy in 26 of the more than 250 boards in the state. One of the boards getting the boot is the growing Michigan Together Council. She says the group has completed its work. The order mentions that many other boards no longer serve their original purpose, with some duplicating the work of others. And technology enthusiasts are gearing up for their annual conference. Charlie, Ryan Recker has this report.
Grand Rapids hosting their third Tech Week. They call it an unconference because it's participant and community driven. Andrea Romkema is their lead organizer.
It's not just for the techies in our community. You can find different topics ranging from health trends to AI to manufacturing tech and everything in between.
Last year, over 13,000 people attended, and they just announced Stephen Dubner from Freakonomics as their keynote speaker. The event starts September 16th. Ryan Recker for the Michigan News Network.
Sounds like pretty diverse stuff going on there. Mike, thank you. On WSGW, any kind of diverse stuff with the weather? Let's find out. Got a forecast update. It is being brought to you by Sanitary Mattress, the factory and the showroom that's at 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw. And that's just east of Harry Brown Airport, don't you know? When you're shopping Sanitary Mattress, getting a product that you need, but knowing that your dollars are spent and staying right here in our local economy with a business that's manufacturing mattresses right here in the Great Lakes Bay region. You can support yourself with a product you need and support the local businesses. Sanitary Mattress is online at sanitarymattress.com. Call 989-753-1757. Sanitary Mattress. Here's WNEM First Alert Meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
A few more showers are in the forecast for your Wednesday, but activity today should be pretty isolated like we saw on Tuesday afternoon. From here, though, the pattern change finally starting to settle in. So as we go through the remainder of the work week, we are first alerting you to a continued stretch of some pleasant weather here, really looking quite nice, especially if you have any outdoor plans. For today, we have a high of 77, dew points falling back into the 50s, and they'll be staying there for the remainder of the work week. High of 75 for tomorrow. Even tonight, we have a low of 54 degrees, then 53 on Thursday night. So a nice opportunity to turn the AC off and open up some windows if you do have AC. Now going into the end of the week here, Friday, we have a high of 80, then 82, both on Saturday and on Sunday, but the humidity still relatively staying on the lower side, even into the upcoming weekend. And other than a stray shower on Sunday or in the thumb tomorrow afternoon, your First Alert 7-day forecast is pretty dry all the way through the remainder of the week. Early next week, we just see some isolated showers back in the forecast. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Your barometric pressure, 2987, rising west wind, maybe 3 miles per. Temp of 63 from WSGW, your connection to the Great Lakes Bay region and your connection to the world. The extra weather messages, still a few flood warnings existing in some of the southern counties in the state, although a few dropped off that list, actually. And we have a little beach hazard stuff going on along some of the Lake Michigan shoreline, pretty much direct west and then to the southwest corner. The usual suspect places because of some higher winds and some higher waves and stronger currents and things like that. But as far as anything going on around here, nope. Just sounds nice and quiet and pleasant. Pretty good summer weather the next several days here, now that we're into the latter stages of July. It is your morning team on a WSGW. Charlie, Mike, Jonathan, and you, your morning team. And we thank you for joining us as we broadcast on 100.5 and 790, broadcasting with Siri and Alexa, and broadcasting with WSGW.com. If it's that broadcast that's going on, remember, it's because of Storm Master Exteriors, your online support, and your studio support of the WSGW listening availability. Top-notch replacement windows that StoreMaster Exteriors can do for you. Tailored to your needs. No more drafts. Lots of savings with new windows. Find out what StoreMaster Exteriors can do for you and your windows. StoreMaster Exteriors online at storemasterexteriors.com. That's storemasterexteriors.com.
Retirement is more than a newly discovered free time. It's a time to reflect on how you will be remembered and your legacy. It's important to make proper arrangements now. Tune in to WSGW every Sunday at 8 a.m. to your Financial Empower Hour with Jason Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment Advisors in Midland. Learn how to structure your retirement savings to increase the value of your estate and help leave the legacy you want. Plus, call Great Lakes Investment Advisors today, and they will include a complimentary Legacy Maximizer. 989-835-7203. That's 989-835-7203. This commercial shall in no way be construed as solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
Your morning team, you and Charlie and Mike and Jonathan. It is WSGW. And thank you for being with your morning team. Your morning team, we're presented by Paintbull. Paintbull has been announcing as of this week the brand new Icon Rock Clear coating, the most advanced vehicle coating system in the world today, 35 times thicker, 75 times stronger, providing 20 times more UV protection than a ceramic coating. It's Icon Rock Clear coating. Available exclusively at Paintbull. Day Road north of Shattuck and Saginaw. Online paintbullrepair.com. Your morning team sponsor. We're at 642. Also, we appreciate those when it comes to listening. We are doing the streaming on our Facebook page. Also, the availability through Twitch and YouTube, and I think X this morning.
I don't think so.
No, it's not now?
No.
I thought I got the message that, let me see.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, X doesn't like us right now.
Nope.
So apparently I offended Elon Musk. And so we were there for a while. Anyway, 6:43 is the time on WSGW. We are on Facebook, and we appreciate all of that follow us. Feel free to like us. And I mention that because just want to do a little Facebook fun, I'll call it this morning, for some reaction that we had and some of those who were following a couple of posts that we had for you the past day.
We're still on X, by the way.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We had some issues with accessibility for a while, but I got that worked out.
We're not live streaming on X.
Ooh, probably not.
That's what we were talking about.
I got you.
Okay, I see what you mean. So
Yeah.
we're
We're able to access
We
it.
have a presence on X.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're not live
You
streaming.
can't live stream on.
You're not hearing
Okay.
us on X right now.
Okay. Thanks for the
For those of you
clarification.
listening on X, you're not hearing us on X right now.
What are we listening to then?
Voices in your head. So, well, first of all, let me start with yesterday. We were talking. We had a little fun. We thank everyone again who stopped out and picked up the free bags of potatoes and the Better Made chips.
Did you get your free bag of potatoes, Charlie?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I took one home.
Terry brought some back yesterday, some that were left over from the Munger Potato Festival promotion we were doing yesterday, which is not this weekend, but next. But for years ahead of it, we have been giving away free potatoes and bags of Better Made potato chips while the supply lasted. And we thank all those who were stopping by to visit Art and Terry, who were out with the Munger Volunteer Firemen and other Potato Festival representatives yesterday. But it got us into a conversation asking about, how do you like your potatoes? And we made a couple of comments. And so we put on our Facebook page.
Do you like them boiled or mashed or stuck in a stew?
Good Lord of the Rings reference there.
That's very good.
We forgot to make yesterday.
Yeah. Thank you for sending me the scene, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes. Should have had it handy. many people had some agreements with what we talked about when it came to like the ketchup standard on French fries. Mike, people were certainly agreeing with you when you talked about like a baked potato. You're throwing everything on there.
Yeah.
Yep. Baked potato, sour cream. Somebody else said potatoes, love them all. Mashed potato soup. Forgot all about potato soup.
Yeah, potato soup.
There's so many ways to have potatoes.
Yeah. Scalloped potato salad. Somebody else also offered up potato pancakes.
And not just potato salad, but the many variations thereof.
Yeah. Yeah. There's, those kind of, here's the category and the subcategory. Somebody did question, Jonathan, your suggestion of putting ketchup on a baked potato.
I would do it. I'm not saying it's my go-to.
I think you said if necessary. If that was okay.
If I didn't have all the other stuff, I'd do ketchup on it.
Okay.
I'm not just going to eat a plain baked potato.
Got to have something else on there.
Yeah.
Butter with salt and pepper.
Yeah. That's my easy go-to.
Yeah. My wife makes she'll like broil or bake a chicken or roast a chicken and put potatoes underneath.
Ooh.
So that all the juices drip down into the potatoes. Oh, they're fantastic.
Ooh.
For anyone questioning why there's a Munger Potato Festival, this is why. There's so many different potato varieties.
It's not because they're known for growing all those potatoes out in Munger?
Yeah.
No.
And let's not forget, for those who enjoy imbibing in spirits, there's vodka.
Yeah.
Might be
people
a
use
very
potatoes.
popular way of enjoying potatoes.
Well, again, we thank our Facebook friends for having a little fun with us as we had the discussion, but you were able to join as well. And those, even if you didn't make a comment, to maybe like something or recognize that you were paying attention. Just as, again, from Facebook. So last night, baseball's All-Star game. And being the baseball fan, I like to just see what's going on and see some of those stars. And okay. And I had forgotten, I just had forgotten that in the last several years, I'm trying to think of even when it started. It wasn't that long ago, maybe 4 or 5 years, where baseball's All-Star game, for some stupid reason, went away from having players wear their uniforms. It was another great way that the baseball All-Star game set itself apart from like football, hockey, basketball. They wore their own uniforms. If they were like the American League at home, they would have wore their home uniforms, and all the National League players would have worn their away uniforms of their own teams. It was unique. It was fun. But baseball decided to get away from that for whatever reason. And last night, I tuned in, and I don't even have words for how bad the uniforms were, especially the American League. And so I just...
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now. The National League looks all right.
It's not that,
but the American
in comparative
League.
terms. So not having my microphone in front of me, I turned to our Facebook page and decided to throw a post out, and I posted this last night. Anybody watching the All-Star game and thinking like me, I know this has been going on for several years, but for the love of God, please go back to the players wearing their own uniforms. The American League looks like they puked on themselves. Sigh.
Especially under the lights. Like, just the pictures of the uniforms themselves, it's got a nice cream color with the orange. It looks all right. But once it gets under the lights in the stadium, there's this weird green tint. I agree. It looks awful.
And based on our responses, all our listeners agreed. And some added some comments. Some... They don't even make a good softball team uniform. That's pretty good. I would want that in the softball field. Somebody else said they look dirty and yellowed. To your point, they just. I even followed up a response from a man that I've coached baseball with before in Little League, and we've done some All-Star teams together. And in Little League, they have separate uniforms. Our Little League All-Star uniforms look 100% better than what they had on the field last night, especially for the American League. And then apparently it was trending. Don't know if we started it, but a bunch of stories started popping up about people were saying the same thing. Even All-Star Bryce Harper of the Phillies said the generic uniforms ruined something that he enjoyed about the All-Star game when he was growing up. He said, if we could change back to that, I think it would be really cool, again, when players would wear their own uniforms. Apparently, the commissioner of baseball, Rob Manfred, says, you know what? We'll have to revisit this.
There will be conversations.
Yeah. He still supports the special uniforms. Commissioner, just do the right thing.
And baseball is a sport where you can do that. You can have the individual uniforms because it's obvious. Like it's not on a football field where there's chaos or a hockey rink. Baseball, you know who the runner is. You know who the fielder is. It looks nice.
And to that point, perhaps in a fast-paced game of like a hockey, basketball, or football, especially like hockey and basketball where, you have to pass, you have to be able to identify quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe. But baseball, it's easily done. In fact, it had been done since 1933 in the first All-Star game up until I said just a few years ago. Well, anyway, again, thanks to those who did respond, and we appreciate our Facebook friends who are joining us on that conversation. It is your morning team on WSGW, and with Charlie and Mike and Jonathan and you all together on WSGW. It is time to start going up to the hour and get your up-to-the-minute news and business and weather and your sports. It's 6:51.
From Michigan News Source, I'm Cheryl Fritz. Our top story this hour, they're often called flushable wipes, but they're anything but flushable. There is a new state law that punishes people who send them down the toilet. These wipes cause trouble for wastewater treatment plants and the pipes buried near your homes. Flushable wipes are costly for everyone, including cities that need to fix issues at wastewater sites and customers who experience plumbing problems. The new state law calls for honesty from wipe manufacturers to bring costs down for everyone. But if you flush after these changes, you may be fined. A new Michigan law is requiring manufacturers to label wipes to include the words "do not flush" and create a symbol that will also warn buyers, or they can no longer be sold. Vice President Kamala Harris will be in Kalamazoo today. Tim Knight has the story.
The vice president will take part in a moderated discussion with Olivia Troy, who worked under former Vice President Mike Pence. This will be Harris's fourth visit to Michigan this year and her seventh since taking office in 2021. For Michigan News Source, I'm Tim Knight.
A fast-moving summer storm Saturday night on Lake Michigan left carnage in its path after 3 huge sailboats snapped masts and a 4th boat had to rescue a man after he fell overboard, all in the middle of the night under total darkness during the first day of the Chicago to Mackinac race. Disaster was averted after Madcap responded to a man overboard reported from Callisto. Both boats resumed racing the 333 statute-mile race without injury. In addition to usual suspects, masts broken on the 65-foot Sagamore, along with the 45-foot Sapphire. No injuries were reported, according to the communications director for the Chicago to Mackinac race. For Michigan News Source, I'm Cheryl Fritz.
CBS News is coming up at 7 o'clock.
And that is in just minutes from now on WSGW. Continuing up to 7 o'clock hour, the up to the hour, up to the minute reports. We just had the news, still have business and weather and sports to do. Let's do the business right now. It is the Fox Business Report, and it's 6:54.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Today, we'll find out how the economy is holding up in the 12 regions covered by the Federal Reserve. The Fed's Beige Book report is released. United Airlines releases its quarterly numbers today, as does Johnson & Johnson. Kevin Mon, Chief Investment Officer at Hennion & Walsh, says top tech stocks have been leading.
Earnings have fueled over 83% of the growth based upon those Magnificent Seven technology stocks over the last 12 months. Once that earnings growth shifts to the other 493 stocks, that's when I think we'll see an expansion of the rally. But that won't take place before interest rates start to decline.
More financial firms release earnings today. U.S. Bancorp, Citizens Financial, Discover Financial Services, Northern Trust, and Synchrony Financial. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013, 800-444-2013, or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-444-2013.
Up to the hour, you're up to the minute weather of WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro. It's 6:55.
Looking pretty good as we head into your Wednesday. We do have a couple of isolated showers or an isolated thunderstorm in the forecast today, but the coverage of any rain is still going to be pretty limited. If anything, you'll notice the pattern change here in our temperatures and our humidity. So dew points back down into the 50s, high of 77 today and 54 tonight. We have a high of 75 on Thursday with mostly sunny skies, only a stray shower in the thumb. And then on Friday, 80, sunny, and still with low humidity. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Rising barometric pressure 2987. West wind is 3. It's 63 at WSGW. Your connection to the Great Lakes Bay region and your connection to the world. As we are continuing up to the hour, and you're up to the minute sports coming up on WSGW.
Let me take a moment to talk about my friends at Quick Lane Freeland next to my car dealer, McDonald Ford. This is where you can get all of your routine maintenance done. Oil changes, brakes, tires, batteries, and they work on all makes and models of cars, not just Fords. Chevys, Toyotas, Hondas, Jeeps, Dodge, you name it. They keep them all in tip-top shape. And here is a tip from Quick Lane Freeland.
Do you suffer from allergies? Did you know FrigiFresh kills germs in your vehicle's air conditioning system? FrigiFresh is a hospital-grade disinfectant that controls pollen, molds, and mildew inside your car. It's only $20 and takes less than 10 minutes for the treatment. You can get FrigiFresh at Quick Lane next to McDonald Ford in Freeland. Just stop in. No appointment needed.
Quick Lane Freeland, right next to McDonald Ford, working on all makes and models of cars.
Up to the hour, up to the minute with sports on WSGW. It's 6:58. Baseball, the All-Star game. Well, aside from the horrible uniforms we were talking about, the American League did win the game. 5-3 your final score. 3-3 tie in the fifth. That was snapped by Jaron Duran, who hit a 2-run homer, and he was named the game's MVP. The National League's 3 runs all came on a Shohei Ohtani 3-run homer. Tigers' Tarek Skubal got in the game. He pitched a perfect second inning, and Riley Green played in left field. Caught a couple of balls for outs, and he had 2 at-bats, a flyout and a strikeout. Tigers' next action will be at Toronto on Friday. And that's the same thing for our Great Lakes Loons, as minor league baseball is taking the next several days off because of the Major League Baseball All-Star break. Loons play on Friday at the Lansing Lugnuts. Pistons were playing summer league basketball last night and getting a win over the Chicago Bulls, 85-77. Off the bench came Jace Johnson to lead the way with 19 points. Marcus Sasser and Ron Holland both had 17. Pistons did have to overcome 20 turnovers, but they got the victory. It is going up to the hour with your up-to-the-minute sports on WSGW. News next, it's 6:59.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-230-2777. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-230-2777, 800-230-2777, or biglou.com.
News now on WSGW at 7 o'clock.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
Donald Trump has my strong endorsement, period.
The Republican National Convention marches on with former rivals like Nikki Haley speaking out on night 2. Correspondent Matt Piper is in Milwaukee.
Seeking to appeal to voters beyond the Republican base, Nikki Haley said the party must acknowledge that there are Americans who do not always agree with the former president. She said her message is simple. You don't have to agree with Trump 100% of the time to vote for him. Take it from me.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Senator Marco Rubio also urged Republicans to unite behind Mr. Trump. House Speaker Mike Johnson spoke of the alternative.
America can't risk 4 more years of Joe Biden's weakness that has invited so much aggression by our enemies. We can't survive the dramatic increases in violence, crime, and drugs that the Democrats' policies have brought upon our communities.
President Biden is once again defending his decision not to give in to pressure to drop out of the race. He tells BET,
the only thing age brings a little bit of wisdom. And I think I've demonstrated that I know how to get things done for the country.
Days after the assassination attempt on former President Trump, a source tells CBS News security had been stepped up at the rally in Pennsylvania after U.S. intelligence detected a possible Iranian plot. Correspondent Nicole Skanga.
Information about the threat stream raises further questions about how an armed individual was able to get within 500 feet of the former president despite increased security.
There's no evidence of a connection between the possible Iranian threats and the shooting. An overseas official takes a dip in a long polluted river to prove the water is safe for world athletes to jump in next week.
To the sound of applause, Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo made good on her promise to swim in the River Seine and announced the water is good. $1.5 billion have been spent trying to get the Seine clean enough for the Olympic swimming marathon and triathlon. It's still touch and go. Tests will continue right up to the days of competition. Elaine Cobb, CBS News, Paris.
A sigh of relief at last night's All-Star game.
Oh, say, can you see?
Cody Johnson hit every note of the anthem on Fox hours after Ingrid Andress apologized for her rendition at the Home Run Derby the night before, explaining she was drunk. The American League beat the National League 5-3 last night for its 10th win in the past 11 games. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm with Applied Innovation customer Eric Lane, Director of Information Technology for Raleigh Williams Paint Spot. Eric, you have a managed network services agreement with Applied Innovation.
Yes, we have all the services minus the help desk. We still have help desk for the things that they do, such as network monitoring, servers, patching, Windows updates, and things of those nature.
How does Applied Innovation's network professionals help you?
Applied Innovation has been very proactive, and they've laid out a plan for here's what we look like today, and here's what we want to look like in 18 months and then going forward. So it's the long-term vision that they have that other companies didn't.
How does Applied Innovation benefit you?
I sleep better at night.
That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Sleep better by trusting your network to Applied Innovation. Call Applied Innovation today, 800-521-0983, or visit appliedinnovation.com. Applied Innovation. Fast, friendly, amazing.
My wife and I both, we ended up mildly sick for a few months, and the nasal congestion was probably the worst part. I had like a post-nasal drip, just super congested all the time. We were taking everything we possibly could, but nothing really worked.
Kyrie was miserable until a friend recommended Navage. Navage offers immediate drug-free congestion relief, flushing your nasal passages with refreshing saline and sucking out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Don't live in misery this cold season. Use Navage so you can breathe easier faster, sleep better, and feel your best right away.
The biggest thing Navage has done has completely cleaned out my nasal passages. It was from the first use. I was able to just clear out anything that was stopping me from breathing correctly. Navage helps me clear the way, literally clear the way for me to operate better in the rest of my life.
Experience the Navage difference yourself. Navage is available at Navage.com or at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E.
Oh no, stomach issues again? Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools. I thought it was my stomach. People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
What illegal species was attempted to be smuggled into Detroit recently? Ew. Tell you the story coming up at 7:20 on WSGW. Thankfully, didn't get past the authorities. Charlie, Mike, Jonathan here. It is 7:05. 64 your temperature, maybe 77 for a high. We have expectations of sunshine. This kind of forecast actually sounds like it's going to play out the next couple of days. We'll have Bill O'Reilly's commentary, and he's talking about the recent announcement of candidate Trump of his selection of a vice presidential candidate, J.D. Vance. That's at 7:25. Of course, got sports to do coming up at 7:15. News now being brought to you by Big Ick Nursery and Garden Center, M84 West Side, Saginaw Road in Bay City, just seconds off I-75. Big Ick Nursery and Garden Center. And now, Mike Burchuk.
Thank you, Charlie. Good morning, everyone. A 41-year-old Bay County woman will soon be charged with drunk driving offenses causing the death of 2 people. The Munger woman, who has not been named at this time, is accused of driving the wrong way on I-75 in Monitor Township March 13th and crashing into another vehicle, resulting in the deaths of 33-year-old Brandon Edwards of Davison and 39-year-old Ronald Wells of Flint. Police say the woman was working at My Brother's Bar in Kekaulan and became extremely intoxicated, leaving her shift around 10 p.m. in a Chevy Cruze. The suspect was critically injured in the crash, and a 30-year-old female passenger in the other vehicle was also injured. Police say the suspect's blood alcohol content was 0.189, well above the legal limit in Michigan and considered super drunk. The bar was fined on charges of furnishing alcohol to an intoxicated person, allowing an intoxicated person to consume liquor on the premises, and allowing an employee to be on the premises in a drunken condition. The suspect is facing charges of operating a motor vehicle with a high blood alcohol content causing death and a similar charge causing serious injury. A Grand Blanc woman was hospitalized following a crash in Grand Blanc on Monday. Police say the 64-year-old woman was walking her dog across Grand Blanc Road near David Street when a 72-year-old Grand Blanc man driving in the area struck the woman and the dog. The dog was killed in the crash. The woman suffered severe head injuries, according to police. She was listed in critical condition yesterday at Hurley Medical Center in Flint. Police say alcohol does not appear to be a factor in the crash. The man rendered aid to the woman following the crash, and police say he is cooperating with the investigation. Police in Flint are looking for a man recently reported missing. 28-year-old DeMargio Phipps was last seen at Carriagetown Mission in the 600 block of Garland Street in Flint on July 1st. Police say he was wearing jeans and a casual t-shirt. Phipps is described as black, standing 5'9" and weighing around 130 pounds. He has black hair with natural locks and brown eyes. Anyone with information on Phipps' whereabouts is urged to call 911 or the Flint Police Department. The Michigan Department of Transportation is implementing an overnight closure on eastbound US 10 at the Mackinac Road overpass for beam setting. The work is part of a $32.8 million investment to rebuild westbound US 10 from 7 Mile Road to Bay City. In addition to demolishing and rebuilding the Mackinac Road Bridge, crews will also build 2 roundabouts at the overpass. The road closure will take place tonight, starting at 8 o'clock until tomorrow morning around 5 a.m. traffic will be detoured via the Mackinac Road ramps. The Humane Society of Midland County is hosting a pet-friendly fundraiser at Midland Brewing Company this evening from 4:30 to 7 p.m. The annual Pints for Pups will feature games, food, music, raffles, and more. Music will be provided by the band Marsupial Cream Pie. Entry is a donation of $15 to the Humane Society, which includes a pint glass and a free beer. Midland Brewing Company is located at 5011 Saginaw Road in Midland. WSGW News Time 710.
Hi, I'm Ray from Big Gick Nursery and Garden Center in Bay City. The warm days of summer are here. Visit Big Gick's and see how we can help you enjoy it more. With summer sales savings of 70 to 80% off on all remaining annual flowers, hanging baskets, and container gardens. Also, all garden and gift decor is now 40% off. That includes outdoor rugs, spinners, gazing globes, and so much more. In Big X Boutique, you can save 40% off on all spring and summer fashions. Our pottery yard has a great selection of beautiful ceramic and plastic pottery, all with a savings of 50% off the regular price. Make sure you check out our selection of gourmet food, grilling spices, and grilling accessories, all at 20% off. In the Big X Plant Care Room, we have all the plant care products to keep your plants healthy and growing all summer long. Let us help make this the best summer yet. We'll see you at Big X this week. Big Gick Nursery and Garden Center on M84, 1 mile east of I-75, west side Saginaw Road, Bay City.
WSGW News Time 711. For the first time in more than a decade, the $20.6 billion K-12 education budget in Michigan does not include a bump in per-pupil funding. Instead, a new $598 million school aid fund to be shared among the state's 530-plus traditional school districts. Craig Thiel, research director with the Citizens Research Council of Michigan, says it was a big surprise.
Arguing that money should be divided among the school districts not on an equal per pupil basis, but instead based on a function of their payroll.
He says the idea is to give relief to legacy debt. That means it won't result in an equal per pupil increase. CRC analysts shows it will widen the gap between high poverty districts and low poverty districts. While the Republican National Convention is happening in Milwaukee, Vice President Kamala Harris will be making a campaign stop in West Michigan. She'll be in Kalamazoo today with a former national security official from the Trump-Pence administration and a mother who has a personal reproductive health story. And Charlie, former President Donald Trump's first campaign rally following last week's attempted on his life, will be in Michigan. The Trump campaign announced the Republican nominee will be at the Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids this Saturday. Trump will be speaking alongside his new running mate, Senator J.D. Vance. It will be their first campaign rally together. The latest CBS News polls have Trump leading Biden in the state, though it is still considered a toss-up.
Just shows the importance that Michigan has in, well, any presidential election, but this year certainly there's maybe a more increased focus. It is weather time for you on WSGW at 7:14. Got this forecast update, and it's being brought to you by Peace Lutheran Ministries. The new school year is getting very close, and Peace Lutheran still has some openings for its nationally accredited school. And so you can find out about getting your child enrolled. Head to peacesaginaw.org for the information you may need. That's peacesaginaw.org. Again, a nationally accredited school, and perhaps for your child for the upcoming school year. Here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Quite a comfortable day is ahead as far as our humidity and temperatures go. We have a high of 77 today. Dew points falling back into the 50s, all thanks to the pattern change finally starting to settle in. Now, we still have a couple of isolated showers in the forecast for today. Even an isolated thunderstorm is possible too, but we'd expect any storm activity to stay below severe limits going into today. As we go into tonight, we'll have mostly clear skies, low of 54, just a few clouds lingering across the thumb. Specifically, also on Thursday in the thumb, we're still maintaining a 10% 50% chance of showers. Otherwise, conditions very dry going into your Thursday. Mostly sunny, of a high of 75 tomorrow, 80 and sunny on Friday. Humidity still staying low. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
It's a rising barometer of 2989. It's a southwest wind at 5, 64 degrees at WSGW. Your connection to the Great Lakes Bay region and your connection to the world. And with your morning team on WSGW, puts us just in front of our sports, ready to go to the sports next on WSGW.
This Educational Minute is brought to you by Bay City Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Stephen Bigelow.
This week's attention shifts to the transformative steps being taken at two pivotal institutions, Handy Middle School and Bay City Central High School. Handy Middle School is aiming higher, reaching farther. We've documented this rejuvenation through a multi-part video series to offer a more vivid picture of these promising changes. Bay City Central's rejuvenated approach ensures that every student finds their pathway illuminated. And here's something intriguing. Bay City Central isn't just your conventional high school. It's also been designated as an early middle college, bridging crucial educational gaps. Catch a glimpse of the tireless efforts, groundbreaking methodologies, and the resounding positive ripple effects of these redesigns. Head to bcschools.net and click on the Our Schools link to embark on this enlightening journey with us.
This Educational Minute is brought to you by Bay City Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Stephen Bigelow.
Hey, sports on WSGW at 7:16, being brought to you by Paintball Bay Road in Saginaw, where right now the Icon Rock Clear coating is now available. It is exclusive at Paintball. What's it all about? Find out. Stop in to learn more. Online, visit paintballrepair.com. Paintball is more than a body shop on Bay Road north of Shattuck and Saginaw. Baseball's All-Star Game. That was front and center in sports last night, and the American League defeated the National League 5-3. This game was tied at 3 runs in the 5th when Jarren Duran hit a 2-run homer, and he was named the game's MVP. It was a scoreless game until the 3rd inning. That's when the National League scored first, got all 3 runs on a Shohei Ohtani 3-run homer. In the bottom of the 3rd, the American League came right back to tie it up with 3 runs. Tigers' Tarek Skubal did pitch the 2nd inning. It was a perfect inning in his outing, and Riley Green got in to play left field. He caught a couple of balls. He batted twice, flew out to center, and he struck out. Tigers will remain off until Friday at Toronto. Tigers and the Major League Draft continued yesterday, and the Tigers loaded up on more pitchers. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pitchers of the 10 players selected yesterday. Micah Ashman from the University of Utah, Lucas Elisalt from Chipola College, Preston Howie from St. Mary's College, Anson Siebert, a high schooler from Kansas, Bryce Elwan from Southern Union State Junior College, Chase Davis from a high school in Florida, Dawson Price from Eastern Oklahoma State Junior College, an infielder, Jude Warwick from a high school in Illinois, outfielder Zach McDonald from Miami of Ohio, and catcher Gabriel Rosado from Carlos Beltran Baseball University. Minor leagues are still on an all-star break as well, so the Loons don't have any action until this coming Friday. We'll be at the Lansing Lugnuts. Pistons playing basketball last night, Summer League, and beat the Chicago Bulls 85-77. Off the bench came Jace Johnson to lead the way with 19 points. You got 17 from Marcus Sasser, 17 from Ron Holland. Bobby Klintman only had 5 points, but he did have 12 rebounds. Pistons had to overcome 20 turnovers, but obviously did. It's sports on WSGW. It's 7:19.
Introducing Jackpot Slots Millionaire, the new $30 fast cash game from the Michigan Lottery. With 33 chances to win on every ticket, you could score the entire progressive jackpot, plus $1 million. Now that's big money. Play new Jackpot Slots Millionaire, one of 12 fun fast cash games from the Michigan Lottery. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
I'm looking over a 5-leaf clover. I overlook the
Whoa, isn't it supposed to be a 4-leaf clover?
Not the way I play.
Right. Everybody's playing the Michigan Lottery's Fast Cash game, 5-Win Lucky Clover. It's a $20 ticket with 5 different ways to play and win. And a top prize of the full Fast Cash jackpot plus $250,000.
Just my kind of number.
Try your luck with the new Fast Cash game, 5-Win Lucky Clover. Only from the Michigan Lottery. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Thanks to the work of the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the Office of Field Operations at Detroit's Metro Airport, a illegal species did not make its way into the country. What was it? Charlie and Mike and Jonathan and you on WSGW, as we're at 7:21. I always like these stories just because you wonder, what are people trying to make a buck, I'm guessing. I mean, obviously, where else would you do something illegal if the end game isn't that? This was a passenger that arrived from Ghana in June, attempting to sneak in 90 giant African land snails. And
wow.
There's a picture of them right there. Close up, obviously. The passenger apparently declared items such as beef skin and fresh peppers, but failed to mention the African land snails, of course, because they're illegal. It was during baggage inspection. Agriculture specialists noticed a tied woven bag that was giving off an odd odor. I'll bet.
Well, everything smells like snails.
I'm just imagining a customs officer. I smell giant African snails. We have to shut this whole line down until we get to the bottom of this.
I mean, you wonder, were they thinking something along those lines, or were they thinking someone's just got some dirty clothes in here or something? I don't know. Well, they opened the bag. They found the snails. They range up to 6 inches in length.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what they're the giant. You think of a snail, you think of something really small or something.
Pretty giant.
As authorities said, these snails are an invasive species that could negatively impact our economy. Agricultural specialists keep an watchful eye out for anything that could be harmful to plants, animals, and insects. These snails, it says, which could grow up even to 8 inches long, get this, have a voracious appetite, causing major damage to important crops, posing public health threats to humans when they escape, and known to cause structural damage because they consume stucco on homes to help meet their calcium requirement for their shell growth. Really? Yeah, that's my reaction. Really? Stucco on homes? What's causing damage? A giant snail?
We lost the house. What happened? Did it burn down? No. Snails ate it.
Is that covered by insurance?
Boy, good question. Imagine having to call your agent. Yeah. I need to file a claim. Fire? No. Mother Nature? No. Giant African land snail. Excuse me? Do I need a special rider for that? Or is that specifically in the fine print? Maybe I better read. I don't know. Well, apparently we don't have to worry about what actually what they say was they believe this person brought them in intended for consumption.
I was wondering, do they taste good?
I don't know. No. Our food expert Art Lewis isn't here right now, so we'll have to ask him. But was that the case? Was it for personal consumption, or were they going to try and sell them for, somebody else? We've had those stories before. People trying to smuggle in illegal animals or ingredients and things like that in order to advance somebody else having a chance to utilize them. We might have an answer. We mentioned the name Art Lewis, needing a food expert to chime in. And on our phone now, Art Lewis, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. They do not make escargot cups that big.
So you're thinking no on the consumption. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I know it could be, they're big. They could be like gooey duck clams. And, you slice them up and saute them and all that good stuff.
Of course. That's what we were thinking. We just needed you to confirm that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. See you in a bit.
Drive carefully. I know. You know who cooked these up.
Dixie Dave Miner.
Dixie Dave Miner,
Yep.
the wild game chef who, though he's retired from his restaurant duties, he still caters and such. I bet you he could cook up these giant African land snails and make them taste good. So,
Have to ask him about that.
yeah. Hopefully that's not who she was intended to get them to. We've got Bill O'Reilly coming up next. But again, all stopped thanks to the Customs and Border Protection at Detroit's Metro Airport. Bill O'Reilly's commentating on Senator J.D. Vance, who was just named as candidate Trump's vice presidential running mate. And we'll find that commentary coming up next.
Take a leap into July with Saguenay Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel's Leaf and Lily Pads giveaway. Every Friday, snag your chance to win cash and premium play. Just land the frog on the lily pad and splash into summer winnings. Every hour from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m., one lucky guest gets 3 tries to land the frog. Prizes stack, so aim high and win big. Only at Saguenay Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit Saguenay-EaglesLanding.com for complete rules and details.
It's Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, are you feeling the impact of the recent changes in the timeshare industry? My friends at Lone Star Transfer are the only company I trust to help you. For more than a decade, they have successfully helped over 20,000 owners get out of their timeshare with an A+ rating at the Better Business Bureau. Customer service is their priority. For a free consultation and a guaranteed solution, 855-551-7066 or go to LoneStarTransfer.com. On this Wednesday, Senator J.D. Vance is an interesting guy, traditional conservative, Marine Corps vet, Yale Law School, Catholic convert, author, journalist, business guy. I'm almost short of breath writing this. As Donald Trump's VP selection, Vance will immediately be lionized by Republicans and attacked by liberal Democrats. Not sure personal mud will be thrown so close to the shooting, but it would not be surprising. As far as votes are concerned, doesn't seem like the Ohio guy will move that needle a lot. However, he will give Kamala Harris some jazz in the debate, certainly. Now, I don't know Vance, never met him, but he's not boring. In fact, the Trump-Vance ticket may be the liveliest in the history of the United States. Looks like Republicans are going for MAGA domination here. Don't think the New York Times or NBC News will approve, and perhaps that is why Donald Trump selected Mr. Vance. One phrase, in your face. About 160 million Americans voted in 2020. That's a lot of faces. But at this point, the race seems to be pretty close. Whether J.D. Vance can put Trump over the top is unknown and will be until the day after we vote. Back after this. If you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, listen up. CarShield is a low-cost monthly vehicle protection plan now available to you. This protection plan is at an all-time low price. Please call 800-925-7584 for a free quote. Drivers who activate today will also receive free roadside assistance and towing at no additional cost. That is 800-925-7584 right now. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
Incoming transmission from RocketGrabPlus.com.
Looking to relax? Then we have a fantastic deal for you this week at RocketGrabPlus.com. Get half off a gift certificate to the Healing Room Wellness and Med Spa in Saginaw. Good for use in the sauna, float tank, salt rooms, and more. A $75 value, yours for only $37.50. Plus, from now through August, new members at the Healing Room Wellness and Med Spa can get their first month of membership for only $1. Get your hands on this amazing offer before it's gone, exclusively from RocketGrabPlus.com.
Transmission terminated.
The online poll, we have to do that for you. Got to review the results from last week and get you into a new poll for this week, as we like to do on Wednesday mornings following the 7:30 news, and we will do so. Also got a quick follow-up, too, from yesterday. We were talking at this time, the national anthem that was done before the home run derby for baseball on Monday that is... well, not trending well, as we say. But there's an update on that. We'll have it for you. You're with Charlie, Mike, and Jonathan. Temperature now is 64, going to be maybe 77 for a high. We have expectations of sunshine. This news now being brought to you by the Delta Door Doctor. You know, for the best garage doors, service, and more, you call the Delta Door Doctor because he knows doors. That's the Delta Door Doctor. Here's Mike Percha.
Thank you, Charlie. Good morning, everyone. Crews from the Richland Township Fire Department responded to a house fire in Hemlock yesterday. The fire was reported in the 16,000 block of Doyle Road at around 3:10 a.m. According to officials, the fire appears to have started in the attic of the home. The occupants, 2 residents and a number of pets, were able to safely evacuate before firefighters arrived on the scene. No injuries were reported. Officials say the fire appears to be electrical in nature, though a cause is still under investigation. 2 Bad Axe residents have been charged with shooting at a house over the weekend. Police responded to a home in the 300 block of Silver Street Saturday morning around 1:45 after a vehicle pulled up alongside and a suspect fired 11 rounds from a semi-automatic handgun at the house. No one inside the home was injured. Police say they think the wrong house was targeted in the attack. They arrested 27-year-old DeMondre Williams and 41-year-old Jody Lee Tibbetts later in the afternoon. Williams is charged with felony firearm discharge in or at a building, carrying a concealed weapon, and other felonies. Tibbetts is charged with weapons firearm discharge in or at a building, carrying with unlawful intent, and carrying a concealed weapon. They're both being held on a $500,000 bond in the Huron County Jail. U.S. Congressman Dan Kildee, along with Senators Debbie Stabenow and Gary Peters, have introduced bipartisan legislation to address the housing shortage in Michigan. The Revitalizing Downtowns and Main Streets Act would help build more affordable housing by creating a new federal tax credit for converting vacant and obsolete office and commercial buildings for residential use. The credit would be distributed through state housing finance agencies like the Michigan State Housing Agency, or MISHDA, to conversion projects that will create more affordable housing, drive economic revitalization, and support Michigan's small businesses. Michigan has a lack of affordable housing and is 141,000 housing units short of demand, according to MISHDA. Congressman Kildee's bill to repurpose vacant and underutilized commercial buildings for housing would help build more affordable housing and drive investment in Michigan communities. An airline operating from Flint Bishop International Airport now has inexpensive flights to Florida. Allegiant Airline announced it will be offering nonstop flights to airports in New Hampshire, Georgia, New York, and Florida from some of the airports from which it operates around the country. In Flint, the airline will have a nonstop flight to Destin Fort Walton Beach Airport for fares starting at $59. Flights begin November 15th. Visit allegiant.com for more information. WSGW News Time, 7:33.
For the best garage doors, service, and more, call the Delta Door Doctor. He knows doors. Residential, commercial, we've got them in store. That's the Delta Door Doctor. He knows doors. We've got the selection and we've got the price, and the Delta Door team really treats you right.
When it comes to servicing, repairing, or replacing your garage doors and openers, no one does it better than Delta Door. From simple tune-ups and repairs to full replacement and upgrades, you can trust the experts at Delta Door to get the job done right away. Don't settle for anything less than Delta Door's over 80 years of serving the Great Lakes Bay region. Call the garage door experts at Delta Door.
For the best garage doors, service and more, call the Delta Door Doctor. Delta Door.
Delta Door, 2835 Universal Drive, Saginaw.
WSGW News Time 734. Grocery store reward programs may seem like a free perk, but it's also a big business. A Grand Haven man pleaded guilty to conducting a criminal enterprise for stealing account access tied to Meijer M-Perk accounts. The program offered store credit points, but could also be used as cash value toward purchases. 22-year-old Nicholas Muis stole the information of customers and then sold their accounts with the perks. Those perks were then used by the person who purchased the stolen account. Meijer believes over $1 million was stolen in the cyber theft. He is forced to forfeit his computer, tower, and around $630,000 in frozen cryptocurrency and cash. A new executive order will cut many boards across the state. Here's Michigan News Network's Ryan Recker.
It's an executive order from Governor Whitmer, who says the move will minimize overlap and redundancy in 26 of the more than 250 boards in the state of Michigan. For example, the Unmanned Aircraft Systems Task Force will be eliminated, duties taken over by MDOT. There's also changes to board requirements. You no longer need 10 years of experience to be on the state plumbing board. However, residential builders and maintenance and altercation contractors board will now require a general contracting license. One of the boards getting the cut altogether is the Growing Michigan Together Council. They say the group has completed its work, no longer needed. The order cites that many boards no longer serve their original purpose, some even duplicating the work of other boards. Ryan Recker for the Michigan News Network.
More deliberations Tuesday, but no verdict was reached in the murder trial of a Detroit man accused of killing Jewish leader Samantha Wool. Jurors told the Wayne County judge they had some movement throughout the day, so they will come back for one more day of discussions on Thursday. The jury, deciding the fate of Michael Jackson Bolanos, has told the judge twice it was deadlocked, but Tuesday they asked for more transcripts. One juror has a child care issue on Wednesday, so deliberations will resume Thursday. Prosecutors say Jackson Bolanos stabbed Wool to death at her East Side Detroit home last October, but he's denied any involvement. Jurors have to decide 3 charges: murder, home invasion, and lying to police. And a remote-controlled robot, Charlie, called the Bebot, will be cleaning up the beach in Ludington this evening. Grand Valley State University's Annis Water Resources Institute will demonstrate the cleanup of plastic, according to Institute research professor Alan Steinman.
We sort the plastics and then we give them to Goodwill, which are then recycling it into basically a paver that controls stormwater. So it's really a great arrangement, circular economy, where these plastic waste is being reused into society.
Steinman expects more of the robots to be used to clean up beaches, but he says the real solution is for people to stop using single-use plastics. He says fish eat microplastics, which can kill them.
I'm sorry. What was the name of the unit?
Called the Bebot.
The Bebot.
B-E-B-O-T.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Well, I'm sure we'll hear more about it, and hopefully it does what it's intended to do. It is your weather forecasting on WSGW. And the forecast update we have for you this morning, it's being brought to you by Stormmaster Exteriors. Stormmaster Exteriors is your ultimate solution for your windows and your roofing and your exterior services. You can get free estimates. Find out more when you go online to stormmasterexteriors.com. That's stormmasterexteriors.com. Here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
quite a comfortable day is ahead as far as our humidity and temperatures go. We have a high of 77 today. Dew points falling back into the 50s, all thanks to the pattern change finally starting to settle in. Now, we still have a couple of isolated showers in the forecast for today. Even an isolated thunderstorm is possible too, but we'd expect any storm activity to stay below severe limits going into today. As we go into tonight, we'll have mostly clear skies, low of 54, just a few clouds lingering across the thumb, specifically also on Thursday in the thumb. We're still maintaining a 10% chance of showers. Otherwise, conditions very dry going into your Thursday. Mostly sunny, of a high of 75 tomorrow, 80 and sunny on Friday. Humidity still staying low. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Barometric pressure 2989 and rising. Wind is southwest at 5. Got a 64 temp reading from WSGW. Your connection to the Great Lakes Bay region and your connection to the world. The weather messages from the National Weather Service, none for here, but so you know what's happening around the state. We still have a few counties with flood warnings in place. Water's receding, but still not below flood stages, which is why those flood warnings have to exist according to the National Weather Service specifications. Beach hazard statements, Lake Michigan shoreline area, mostly just direct west and then to the southwest corner, that you'll find those in place. And for that matter, just so you know, we'll also have into the UP, Marquette and Elder County with the same thing. Around here, we're okay. Other places, just some cautionary notes we passed along according to the National Weather Service. Thanks for joining with your morning team on WSGW, joining with Charlie and Mike and Jonathan. You, of course, along and headlining with us. We're all sponsored by Paintbull, Bay Road north of Shattuck and Saginaw. Paintbull is announcing the new Icon Rock Clear coating. It's exclusively a paintball in the area. The most advanced vehicle coating system in the world today, 35 times thicker, 75 times stronger, and providing 20 times more UV protection than a ceramic coating. It's Icon Rock Clear coating, and it's at Paintbull. Paintbull, your morning team sponsor. Online, paintbullrepair.com.
Still undecided about where to send your kids to school this fall? There's still time. The nationally accredited Peace Lutheran School on Lawndale Road in Saginaw Township still has openings for the upcoming school year in most grades, kindergarten through 8th. Our students learn with a challenging academic curriculum from highly qualified teachers in a safe and loving environment. Learn more at peacesaginaw.org. Then give us a call so we can show you around in person. That's peacesaginaw.org.
Hi, I'm Cesar Milan. People are always commenting on how healthy my dogs are. One of the reasons is the food my dogs eat.
Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend is a premium freeze-dried raw dog food designed to support your dog's health, happiness, and lifespan. Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of cod Krispies. Go to drmartypets.com/good or text GOOD to 511-511.
Your order is back with a 90-day guarantee.
All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
It is you with WSGW. Thank you for being with Charlie and Mike and Jonathan. Got a Wednesday where the online poll, we have to introduce you to a new poll. Got to review the results from last week's poll. We'll be doing that as we broadcast to you on 100.5 and 790 through Alexa and through Siri. And yeah, through WSW.com. And Stormmaster Exteriors makes that possible. As your studio sponsor, too, seek out StormmasterExteriors.com. For any exterior work that needs to be done, it can be done by Stormmaster Exteriors. Your online listening support and your studio support of WSGW. 743. Again, Charlie, Mike, and Jonathan, before we do the poll, a little follow-up from yesterday. At this time, as we were having fun giving away our the free potatoes and the Better Made potato chips for the Munger Potato Festival, I want to thank our listeners who stopped by to pick up their free bags. Thanks to Munger volunteer firemen and those associated with the Munger Potato Festival for making it available yesterday. We also had a moment where I think a lot of people were aware of it in the first place, but for those who weren't, I wanted to make sure I was referencing what happened with the Home Run Derby contest associated with baseball's All-Star Game. And There was much attention being paid to the unfortunate rendition of the national anthem that was sung by Ingrid Andress. It was out of tune. It was
sounded about as good as those all-star jerseys looked.
Yeah, boy, there's a nice reference there. I did hear from a listener who was a little concerned that perhaps we were not being kind. In fact, thought that maybe we were bullying the woman that was singing. As she said, if kids at a school made fun of a classmate for that singing voice, what would you call it? How do we tell kids not to bully others when adults contribute to it? Which she says is that's what's wrong with our country. I appreciate the sentiment and the thought.
Yeah.
I would disagree. First of all, it's not a kid. We're talking about a grown-up. She's 32 years old and
has built a career off of singing.
And if we can't point out something that, if we can celebrate something that's good, we have to be able to also recognize when something is bad. And so we were doing that. And I thought we actually did kind of kindly. I admit we had some fun with it, especially with some of the comments that were made to the way that she sounded. We also said too, we did also reference that there were some that were concerned that there was something wrong with her, that they thought that was there something going on? There's some kind of problem because she didn't look like she was right in the way she was singing. Well, turns out, maybe you've heard, she actually announced, and with an apology, that she was drunk.
Oh, yeah.
And
I saw that.
Yeah, it was a very pointed post she put out. I'd like to read it for you, but it contains some words that we wouldn't use here on the morning team show. But she said, I'm going to check myself into a facility. She said, that was not me last night. I apologize to MLB, all the fans in this country. I love so much for that rendition. So she did have a personal situation, which is sad, but nice to know she recognized it.
Good on her for taking the accountability for it.
Well, and you know, how long has she been dealing with this type of personal problem? I don't know. I mean, checking herself into a facility makes me think that she knows there's something going on. Whether actually she's displayed this kind of behavior before, I don't know. But hopefully she's going to get the help. I didn't really, we made a reference yesterday how her dad was a strength coach for the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah. And she had ties to MLB in that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it turns out she was actually born in Southfield, Michigan.
Oh.
Yeah. She was born in the state. And she lived in Metro Detroit for several years when her dad, Brad Andress, was the strength and conditioning coach for the Tigers. Eventually, they did move on. And I think she grew up more in Colorado. But she is 32 years old, and she's had some success, not wide success as a country singer, 4 Grammy nominations and everything. So anyway, kind of a tough update, but
yeah,
at least now we know. Now we know.
There's a resolution.
Yeah.
There.
And it's nice to know, as we are, hey, if it's fun to make a joke, and again, you have to weather those storms. We can also now say, hey, it was tough, but we wish you well, Ingrid. And hopefully have better times ahead for you. All right, 746, the online poll. Last week, we were asking about Michigan's automatic life prison sentences. So the Michigan Supreme Court, don't know when, but they say that they are going to have a ruling at some point. They're going to hear the case and rule on whether or not Michigan's automatic life prison sentences. Last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago, the Supreme Court stopped those automatic sentences for 18-year-olds for crimes even up to murder, saying that it's not that they couldn't be sentenced to life without parole. It's just that now they have to actually go through a hearing in front of a judge, have a chance to hear backstories, make a case, things like that.
I remember we had a bunch of stories about reviews that were going through after that ruling was made.
Yeah.
From different crimes that had been committed.
Well, now the question is, and this is what the Supreme Court is going to perhaps, will at some point, don't know when, should that be raised to 19 and 20-year-olds? So you'd have no automatic life without parole for 19 and 20-year-olds until they undergo a review for major crimes up to murder. Our listeners are not on board right now, I can tell you that. 85% said no when the question was, should the age limit be lifted to 19 and 20 for automatic bans on life sentences? No, 85%. 12% said yes. 3% said, I'm not sure.
I think it would be different. I think the nation, the state, whatever, needs to pick an age at which someone is an adult and gets all the privileges and responsibilities of being an adult, and that is the age. We've got different ages for everything, ranging from 18 to sometimes even younger for different things, up to mid-20s, even over 30 for different things. So
it's
choose an age, and that'll be the benchmark.
And the problem with that, though, as we know, an age is very subjective for the individual.
It is.
Some person who's 21 may have the maturity of a 31-year-old. Well, and yet maybe a 31-year-old doesn't have the maturity of a 15-year-old. Yeah, we all know that. We know people like that. Dare I say, I've been there before. Ooh, tough one, especially when you get into criminal activity like this.
Exactly.
And then you bring in even murder. So, but we appreciate at some point, again, I don't know when, but the court says it's going to consider the case. Let's get you to a new poll here for you. And we're going to give you a chance to comment on political rhetoric.
Ooh.
Well, in the aftermath of the shooting incident with former President Trump, the first call came out from most all people who were commenting. I can't say everyone, but most all were suggesting that we need to tone down political rhetoric. Lower the temperature. President Biden said, lower the temperature. House Speaker Mike Johnson said, got to turn the rhetoric down, turn the temperature down in this country. People saying that it's that harsh political rhetoric that leads to not just this, but other political incidents that have happened in the past where violence has happened. Others say it's not the rhetoric. It always comes down to the individual or a group, whatever. That's got to be personally responsible. Many people in this country hear the same things. We're all not immune from being talked to, or at least made available for news reporting or opinion shows that make this. And we don't do those things. So it's not the rhetoric, it's the person or the groups that are responsible. So we want to ask you in the online poll, how much do you think political rhetoric is to blame for political incidents that are taking place? Do you blame the political rhetoric completely? Do you think at least it's partly to blame? Or do you say, nope, it's got to be on the individual and the groups themselves? Or we'll even give you maybe you're not sure. Let's find out. It's been a long topic of discussion when it comes to what words can do, whether it's in a political situation or in any type of situation. Do words cause people to do things? Do we extend that? Do violent movies, violent video games, those conversations, how long those taking place, lead to violent behavior?
It's true.
Many, many people play them and have no violent tendencies, and yet some do. Head to WSGW.com, scroll down the homepage, and find the online poll box and make your vote. Let's get going up to the hour now. Up to the minute news, your business, and your weather and sports. It's 7:51.
From Michigan News Source, I'm Cheryl Fritz. The Michigan Natural Resources Commission has approved a variety of changes to the state's deer hunting rules, including a prohibition on the shooting of bucks during seasons carved out for youth and hunters with disabilities. An hours-long public meeting last Thursday also ended with expansion of antlerless deer hunting opportunities in parts of the Lower Peninsula. But the 7-member governor-appointed commission rejected long-debated attempts to ease the Lower Peninsula's baiting ban and impose antler point restrictions across the state. Commission Chairman Tom Baird said the rule changes were just a start and that the commission could return to some recommendations in the future for further debate. In recent years, changes to Michigan's deer hunting rules have occurred on nearly an annual basis. Adopting a dog or a cat that is at least 6 months old from the Humane Society of Huron Valley will cost just $50 through July 31st. Tim Knight explains.
The shelter is partnering with the Bissell Pet Foundation as they work to get the facility as empty as they can. It's part of the foundation's Empty the Shelters event, which also involves 390 other shelters in 44 states. Animals on the HSHV website with golden hearts on their profile can be adopted for free. For Michigan News Source, I'm Tim Knight.
A country star with roots in Michigan is checking into rehab after a headline-grabbing performance of the national anthem at the MLB Home Run Derby on Monday night at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Ingrid Andress, who is 32 years old, was born in Oakland County's Southfield, and she revealed on her social media platforms on Tuesday that she indeed was drunk during the performance that many called cringeworthy. She said she is checking herself into a facility to get the help she needs. For Michigan News Source, I'm Cheryl Fritz.
CBS News is coming up at 8 o'clock, Charlie.
Minutes away on WSGW. We continue going up to that 8 o'clock hour. Up to the minute news, business, weather, sports. To the business we go. It's brought to you by Anderson Group. The Anderson Group at R.W. Baird in Saginaw. We're Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11:30 and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11:50. You get the stock market updates. You get the ticker tips. We're joined by Steve, David, and Teresa at those times by R.W. Baird in Saginaw. You can call 989-790-5724. You can go online to saginaw.bairdwealth.com to find out more about R.W. Baird. That's Baird, B-A-I-R-D. Saginaw.bairdwealth.com. It's 7:54.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
NASDAQ futures are slumping, led down by chip makers. Bloomberg is reporting that the Biden administration has told allies it's considering more severe trade restrictions if chip makers such as ASML continue selling their machinery to China. And also, former President Trump in an interview sounded lukewarm about his commitment to defending Taiwan, saying the country should pay for U.S. protection. Johnson & Johnson is reporting upbeat earnings and revenue, though the stock is lower. Adidas shares are rallying to two-year highs after the sports apparel company hiked its full-year forecast for the second time this year. There's a fashion merger. Streetwear brand Supreme has been sold to Essilor-Luxottica, which makes Ray-Ban sunglasses. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosolda, invested in you.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013, 800-444-2013, or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-444-2013.
WSGW with the up to the hour, up to the minute weather of WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro at 7:56.
Looking pretty good as we head into your Wednesday. We do have a couple of isolated showers or an isolated thunderstorm in the forecast today, but the coverage of any rain is still going to be pretty limited. If anything, you'll notice the pattern change here in our temperatures and our humidity. So dew points back down into the 50s, high of 77 today and 54 tonight. We have a high of 75 on Thursday with mostly sunny skies, only a stray shower in the thumb. And then on Friday, 80, sunny, and still with low humidity. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
It's a rising barometer, 2989. It's a southwest wind averaging about 64 degrees. From WSGW, your connection to the Great Lakes Bay region and your connection to the world. Going up to the hour and then up to the minute sports. It's coming up next. Mark Gruskowiak, Mark G, Century 21 Signature Realty. If I am saying his name, I must be talking about getting your home sold, and I am. And I'm telling you that if you want to sell your home, if you want a realtor to take the guesswork out of selling your home, to answer all questions that you might have throughout the entire process, you want Mark Gruskowiak, the Mark G Group. Not to mention, if you want the only realtor to offer the home sales guarantee, you want Mark Gruskowiak. If I'm selling my home, I want Mark. I want to make sure there's no guesswork. I want to make sure that all my questions are answered. I know that's going to happen with Mark Gruskowiak. And it will happen for you too. And so will that home sales guarantee I mentioned. When you contact Mark, you make the phone call and sit down and agree on a price and a deadline. And if the deadline passes and the home isn't sold, Mark's going to have it bought for cash, always allowing you out of the contract if you don't think he's doing the job. The job will be done. All these reasons and more of why I'm calling Mark Gruskowiak to sell my home, and I'm telling you to call Mark Gruskowiak to sell your home. Call 989-781-6979. That's 989-781-6979. Mark Gruskowiak, Century 21 Signature Realty.
Sell your home easy. Just call Mark G. Go
Hackers are targeting small to mid-sized businesses and holding their data hostage. The answer? NetSmart Plus from Applied Innovation. Protect your network with NetSmart Plus from Applied Innovation.
How about the up to the hour, up to the minute sports with WSGW at 7:58. All-star game in baseball with the American League defeating the National League 5-3 when Jarren Duran hit a two-run homer in the fifth inning to snap a 3-3 tie to make it 5-3. That was your final score. Duran was named the MVP. The Tigers' Tarek Skubal pitched a perfect second inning, and Riley Green played left field for a few innings, getting a couple of catches, a couple of at-bats with a flyout and a strikeout. Next action for our Tigers is Friday at Toronto. Next action for our Loons is Friday at Lansing. Pistons playing Summer League basketball, defeating the Chicago Bulls 85-77, led by Jace Johnson off the bench with 19 points. Pistons had to overcome 20 turnovers, but did. Up to the hour. You're up to the minute sports on WSGW. It's 7:59.
Attention, golfers. Tee up for this year's Core 4 Invitational, taking place at the Sawmill Golf Club Tuesday, July 30th, powered by Branham's Jewelry. The Core 4 Invitational is a four-person best ball event, only $250 per team. First place takes home an overnight stay and golf package at Shanty Creek Resort. Thanks to Buck Insurance, you'll have a shot at winning $10,000 in the hole-in-one contest. For more information on all the great contests and prizes, or to register your team, visit 1063thecore.com.
News time with WSGW at 8 o'clock.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton. Display of unity.
Donald Trump has my strong endorsement, period.
Security threat.
An Iranian plot against Trump.
Senator convicted.
Bribery, obstruction of justice, extortion, wire fraud.
Good morning. I'm Steve Kathan with the CBS World News Roundup. Republicans rally around Donald Trump. A show of party unity on the second night of the GOP National Convention. CBS's Ed O'Keefe in Milwaukee reports it was a night for Trump's former party rivals.
One by one, Donald Trump's former foes took the stage.
Donald Trump has been demonized. He's been sued. He's been prosecuted, and he nearly lost his life. We cannot let him down, and we cannot let America down.
The former president showed up early to hear Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley speak.
You don't have to agree with Trump 100% of the time to vote for it.
Their words marked a sharp change in tone from the bitter GOP primary of the past year. Though delegates we talked to said that's all in the past.
We have a border focus. We want safer communities, and the Republican Party is getting unified to defeat Biden.
At the end of the night, it was a family affair with Trump's daughter-in-law and RNC co-chair Lara Trump recounting Saturday's assassination attempt.
He knew how defining that moment would be for our country, and he hoisted his fist.
We also noticed some delegates, like Joe Neglia from Arizona, wearing ear bandages as a tribute.
This is the newest fashion trend. I'm getting this going. Everybody in the world is going to be wearing these pretty soon.
Police in Milwaukee arrested a man with a concealed AK-47 outside the convention center yesterday, and a few blocks away, there was chaos. Officers from Ohio there to help with security shot and killed a man who had knives. Correspondent Nicole Skanga has more about security for Trump being beefed up well before Saturday's attempt on his life in Pennsylvania by gunman Thomas Crooks after intelligence detected a possible Iranian plot.
In the weeks and months before the shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania, an intelligence source tells CBS News there was a significant uptick in chatter concerning an Iranian plot to assassinate the former U.S. president, backed by human-sourced intelligence obtained by the U.S. In June, the Secret Service granted Trump additional assets, including counter-assault teams, counter-sniper teams, drones, and robotic dogs. The government of Iran denies allegations it plotted to kill Trump. The investigation so far has not uncovered any links between Saturday's shooter and any co-conspirator. Sources tell CBS News that 3 snipers from local law enforcement assigned to help the Secret Service Saturday reported seeing Crooks 3 times in the minutes before the shooting, even taking a picture of him and radioing to the command post for backup.
President Biden is campaigning in Nevada. He'll meet today with members of a Latino civil rights organization, and he told BET he still has time to energize voters and has no intention of stepping out of the race.
If I had some medical condition that emerged, if the doctors came to me and said, you got this problem, that problem.
Speaking to the NAACP, Biden mocked the Trump debate comment about black jobs, saying, I know what a black job is. It's the vice president of the United States. And he said Kamala Harris could be president. And we've heard this morning from Vice President Harris about Trump's VP pick, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance.
Unlike Mike Pence, Vance said he would have carried out Trump's plan to overturn the 2020 election. He supports a national abortion ban and voted against protecting IVF.
On a call with the Congressional Progressive Caucus, the president said he's working with experts on Supreme Court reform proposals. Reports say that would include ethics reform and term limits. Congressional approval would be needed. And this morning, Britain's new Labour Party government said it will calm the country's politics and ease its cost of living crisis, setting out plans for what it calls a national renewal at the opening of Parliament. 4 minutes after the hour.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career path with flexibility, great pay, and benefits? Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
When was the last time you said, I love? No, really. When was the last time you said, I love my pillow? We think we know why this is so difficult. Because your pillow sucks. That's right. As soon as you lay on it, it needs to be scrunched and adjusted, which some pitchman convinced you is a good thing. And in the middle of the night, it starts all over again. I Love My Pillow is not a cheap infomercial pillow. In fact, for the last 10 years, I Love My Pillow has only been available in the finest bedding shops. The secret to I Love My Pillow is in our proprietary homemade foam. I guarantee you'll be saying, I love my pillow. Go to ilovemypillow.com to get sized for your custom-made pillow, handcrafted in the heart of America. I guarantee this pillow won't suck or your money back.
Order now and get a free travel pillow. Just put promo code LOVE. That's promo code LOVE at ilovemypillow.com.
New Jersey Democratic Senator Bob Menendez says he'll appeal yesterday's conviction on corruption charges, and so far he's rebuffed calls from members of his own party to resign his seat.
I have never been anything but a patriot of my country and for my country. I have never, ever been a foreign agent.
He was found guilty of acting as a foreign agent for Egypt, accepting bribes of gold and cash. There's a threat from Elon Musk on his social media platform X, vowing to move the headquarters of that company and SpaceX from California to Texas. CBS's Christopher Cruz.
Musk said the last straw was a new California law that forbids school districts from requiring teachers to notify parents when a child changes gender identity or sexual orientation. He said the law and many others that preceded it is an attack on families and companies.
And a Southern California school district has just sued Governor Gavin Newsom over that new law, arguing schools do not have the right to keep secrets from parents. Today in Las Vegas, the Mirage will vanish. The tropical island-themed hotel and casino closing after 34 years.
It's sad to see it go away, but I am kind of excited to see Hard Rock, though.
The owners plan to open a Hard Rock hotel and casino after some renovations in 2027. Now to Texas in the Major League Baseball All-Star Game.
Here's a high fly ball off of the bat at Jaron Duran. That one will leave the yard and give the American League its first lead of the night.
Jaron Duran of the Red Sox was the hero on Fox as the American League topped the National League 5-3, winning for the 10th time in the past 11 All-Star games. Overseas to Paris, where a crowd cheered the mayor, Anne Hidalgo, who took a dip in the River Seine in a wetsuit. She had promised to do that to show it was clean enough to host some Olympic swimming events. She called it exquisite. Paris was one of many world capitals where CBS News listeners and viewers would find correspondent Tom Fenton.
If bin Laden was responsible, he may have finally signed his own death warrant.
From the aftermath of 9/11 to the Iran hostage crisis and the British royal family, Fenton, who died yesterday, was a contributor to this broadcast and many others for more than 3 decades. Tom Fenton was 94. Time on the roundup, 8 past the hour.
Tiger Woods getting prepared to play in the British Open, which starts tomorrow, or the Open Championship. Aces, a comeback comment toward a fellow golfer regarding retirement. We'll have that comment for you coming up at 8:25. Along with the story, you're hearing that Caitlin Clark, WNBA star, she's going to be racing at the Indianapolis Raceway. Kind of racing. We'll explain that. 8:25. Your morning team, Charlie, Mike, Jonathan, you. This Wednesday where we have a temp of 66 now, 77 the projection for a high, and should be with some sunshine. We'll get to the forecast coming up. I have more sports coming up for you, too. This news brought to you by Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal in Saginaw. That's Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal in Saginaw. And here's Mike Percha.
Thank you, Charlie. Good morning, everyone. A Munger woman will be charged with felonies after allegedly causing a crash in Bay County on March 13th that claimed the lives of 2 Genesee County men. Police say the 41-year-old woman was working at My Brother's Bar on M13 in Cacolin and became intoxicated during her shift, leaving the bar in a Chevy Cruze around 10 p.m. Police say the woman drove the wrong way on I-75 and crashed into a Chevy Impala. The 2 men in the Impala, 33-year-old Brandon Edwards and 39-year-old Ronald Welds, were killed at the scene. A 30-year-old woman in the car was also injured, as was the suspect. Police say she had a blood alcohol level of 0.189, which is considered a super drunk in the state of Michigan. She is facing charges of operating a motor vehicle with a high blood alcohol content causing death and causing a serious injury. The bar she worked at was also fined with charges of furnishing alcohol to an intoxicated person, allowing an intoxicated person to consume liquor on the premises, and allowing an employee to be on the premises in a drunken condition. A woman was critically injured in a crash in Grand Blanc on Monday. Police say the 64-year-old resident was walking across Grand Blanc Road near Davis Street with her dog when they were struck by a vehicle driven by a 72-year-old Grand Blanc man. The woman suffered severe head injuries and was taken to Hurley Medical Center. Her dog was killed in the crash. Police say the driver is cooperating in the investigation. Alcohol does not appear to be a factor. Police in Flint are looking for a man recently reported missing. 28-year-old DeMargio Phipps was last seen at Carriagetown Mission in the 600 block of Garland Street in Flint on July 1st. Police say he was wearing jeans and a casual t-shirt. Phipps is described as black, standing 5'9" and weighing around 130 pounds. He has black hair with natural locks and brown eyes. Anyone with information on Phipps' whereabouts is asked to call 911 or the Flint Police Department. My Michigan Medical Center in Clare officially broke ground on a new 51,000 square foot expansion and revitalization project yesterday. The project comes in 2 phases. The first, including construction of a new 2-story section to house a new emergency department, new inpatient unit with all private rooms, and an expanded imaging department, including a fixed MRI unit. Access to the medical center for 24/7 outpatient services, including lab, X-ray, and CT imaging, will also be improved. Phase 2 of the project includes construction of a new main entrance and canopy, as well as a plaza connecting the campus aesthetically to the downtown area. Improvements include better patient entry and wayfinding, and complete renovation of first-floor public spaces to include patient registration, first-floor dining, the Shamrock Patch gift shop, and access to outpatient services. Construction for Phase 1 is expected to last 14 months. Phase 2 will immediately follow Phase 1 and will take about 8 months. WSGW News Time, 8:12.
It happens after every commercial building gets built.
That looks great, boys. Wow, what a change. The owners are going to be thrilled.
Even after cleaning out the garage or shed. That leftover scrap metal can be a burden, but it doesn't have to be, and it can make you some cash. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal is a metal recycling company that'll pay you cash and recycle your metal for the future. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal also makes it easy. We can provide containers for industrial manufacturing facilities and small specialty shops for moving and storing scrap metals. Looking to scrap a vehicle? We got you. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal in Saginaw, just north of the Dow Event Center. Also located in West Branch, 1 mile off I-75 and M76. Schedule a car pickup or check metal prices now at rifkin-co.com. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal, recycling today for tomorrow.
WSGW News Time, 8:13. A 3-year-old girl has died after a crash in Wayne County. Hamtramck police say the crash happened just after 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. When officers arrived, they found a young girl with her mother breathing but unresponsive. She was rushed to the Children's Hospital of Michigan but stopped breathing in the ambulance and was pronounced dead. The crash remains under investigation. Officials at Detroit Metro Airport are used to finding unusual items in passenger bags, but they often don't see a bag full of snails. Michigan News Network Greg Bowman has the story.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agent seized 90 giant African land snails from a traveler at Metro on June 30th. Customs officials say they found the live snails in the bag of a passenger arriving to the airport from Ghana. The passenger had declared other fresh food items, including prohibited goods like beef skin and fresh peppers, but the passenger did not mention the snails, which caught the attention of the agriculture specialist from the unusual smell coming from a tied woven bag. The giant African land snails, which can grow up to 8 inches, are an invasive species. They're also regarded as a delicacy in some African countries, but officials say the mollusks can pose a public health threat to humans. I'm Greg Bowman for the Michigan News Network.
Thousands of people across Metro Detroit are having problems with their trash pickup. The priority waste customers are reporting missed pickups, service delays, and poor customer service. Old trucks from GFL are also causing problems. St. Clair Shores, Chesterford Township, Northville, White Lake Township, Allen Park, and Clinton Township are among the communities reporting those problems. And retail sales numbers, Charlie, for the month of June have provided some good news for businesses and for the economy. Here's Tony Ortiz with the report.
According to those just released figures, retail sales for the month of June were unchanged from May, which came as a bit of a surprise to some economists who expected a decrease in June. Bankrate's Ted Rossman points out that all of the core retail categories showed sales increases in June, offsetting declines for 2 key businesses, car dealerships and gas stations, who saw their sales slump last month. Meanwhile, e-commerce retailers posted a 2% sales increase for the month of June, a figure they should be higher for the month of July, with Amazon holding its annual Prime Days this week, which in turn has other retailers also holding similar sales through their online portals. This report, by the way, does have some experts even more convinced now that the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates when they meet in September.
For the Michigan News Network, I'm Tony Ortiz.
Sounds like a little mixed bag of some good news in some areas, maybe not so much in others. It is 8:16 at WSGW. Kind of like weather can be sometimes. Forecast we have for you. It's being brought to you by Sanitary Mattress. We send you to 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw, just east of Harry Brown Airport. Mattresses made to your specifications. Can't stress that enough. You go to big box stores, you find mattresses, you get what you get. But Sanitary Mattress will make mattresses for you, so you have the mattress you need to fit that odd size of maybe a camper, an RV, a cabin, boat, you name it, and Sanitary Mattress will do it for you. Online, it's sanitarymattress.com or call 989-753-1757. Sanitary Mattress. Here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Montrow.
Quite a comfortable day is ahead as far as our humidity and temperatures go. We have a high of 77 today. Dew points falling back into the 50s, all thanks to the pattern change finally starting to settle in. Now, we still have a couple of isolated showers in the forecast for today. Even an isolated thunderstorm is possible too, but we'd expect any storm activity to stay below severe limits going into today. As we go into tonight, we'll have mostly clear skies, low of 54, just a few clouds lingering across the thumb. Specifically, also on Thursday in the thumb, we're still maintaining a 10% chance of showers. Otherwise, conditions very dry going into your Thursday. Mostly sunny, of a high of 75 tomorrow, 80 and sunny on Friday. Humidity still staying low. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Barometric pressure 2990 rising. West wind is 6. It is 66 degrees at WSGW. Your connection to the Great Lakes Bay region and your connection to the world. We're ready for the sports update. That's next on WSGW.
Your day starts before the sun rises. Once your boots hit the ground, you head out to a field, a barn, or a tractor. As stewards of the land, you know anything worth doing is worth doing right. At Farm Bureau Insurance, we've always believed in and practiced this same philosophy. From heaving bales and weaning calves to spring seeding and fall harvests, it's all about an honest day's work. Knowing your insurance provider is rooted in Michigan offers comfort. At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
Find your coverage in Vassar, Millington, and Mayville. Call Denny Miller at 989-823-8493.
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We now have unlimited data that never slows you down. Covered by the Verizon 5G network. And for less than $30 a month, we make your phone your ride or die. Switch now and pick a free 5G phone with qualified plan purchase. And your fourth line at no additional cost. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
Hey, ready to give your home a summer makeover without breaking the bank? Well, our friends at Blinds.com, they have you covered with their prime time for savings last chance sale. It's happening right now. Shop huge discounts on premium, customizable window treatments. Now, I love Blinds.com. Why? They invented the better way to shop for energy-saving blinds and shutters and motorized options and even cooling outdoor shades online. Blinds.com. They also offer free professional design consultations. They can help make any minor project like updating a window treatment that'll have a major impact on your home's decor. Plus, you get unlimited window treatments installed for one low cost. You can rest assured with Blinds.com, they have their 100% satisfaction guarantee. Over 2.5 million customers, over 25 million windows covered. Go to Blinds.com. Their prime time for savings last chance sale right now, up to 45% off. Up to 45% off only for a limited time at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
How about that sports on WSGW? How about Major League Baseball's All-Star Game? That really was the attention in sports last night, and it was a 5-3 AL win over the NL. 3-3 tie in the fifth was snapped. Jarren Duran hit a two-run homer. Game-winning hit. He's named the MVP. This is a scoreless game into the third inning. The National League scored first, got all its runs on one swing of the bat, a three-run homer off the bat of Shohei Ohtani. Bottom of the third, the AL tied it up, and again, we remained tied until the fifth, and then that was all the scoring after that. The Tigers, Tarek Skubal pitched a perfect second inning, and Riley Green got a few innings in the outfield. He played left field. He made a couple of catches. He flew out to center field and struck out. Tigers play at Toronto on Friday for the next action. Baseball draft continued yesterday. The Tigers picking up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pitchers. An infielder, an outfielder, a catcher. The pitchers, Micah Ashman from the University of Utah, Lucas Elisatz from Chippewa College, Preston Howey from St. Mary's College, Anson Siebert from high school in Kansas, Bryce Aylwine from a Southern Union State Junior College, Chase Davis, high school player in Florida, Dawson Price is an Eastern Oklahoma State Junior College player. Again, all those players, pitchers. Then an infielder, Jude Warwick from a high school in Illinois, outfielder Zach McDonald with Miami of Ohio, and from Carlos Beltran Baseball University, catcher Gabriel Rosado. Hopefully some of those names at some point in the future contribute at the major league level. Next up for our Loons is Friday at Lansing, as the minor league baseball system is also all-star breaking with the major league system. Basketball, the Pistons playing Summer League basketball, and a victory over the Chicago Bulls, 85-77. Jace Johnson with 19 points off the bench. Marcus Sasser, 17. Ron Holland with 17. Bobby Klintman only had 5, but also added 12 rebounds. Pistons did have to work around 20 turnovers, but did. Your sports on WSGW as we approach 8:24.
I'm Paul Young, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Build the wall. Deport illegals. Put America first. That's Paul Young's plan. The conservative choice for Congress. Pro-Trump and proud of it. Paul Young will secure our border and bring back Michigan jobs. Young served in President Trump's administration, enforcing immigration law to keep illegals out. That's why Young's been with Trump since 2016 and never wavered. But Mary Draves, she serves Democrats. Gretchen Whitmer handpicked Draves to her climate council to push tax hikes and mandates on Michiganders. It's no wonder why Draves backed Biden's Green New Deal and opposed Trump's policies to protect American workers. Draves even donated to Trump-hating Democrats who tried to impeach him. We can't trust Mary Draves to stand with Trump, and Michigan can't afford to send her to Congress. Paid for by Paul Young for Congress.
Welcome to Staples, young man.
Tomorrow's my big day.
Big day?
First grade.
Aw, well, Staples has crayons, markers, glue.
I need a laptop.
Oh, yeah, sure. With Staples Hot Deals, you can save up to $300 on select PCs for school.
Wait. The finances are mom's department.
Right.
I'm looking for performance, like a Core i7 processor.
Boy, first grade has really changed.
Tell me about it.
Save big on tech for school with super low Staples Hot Deals. Right now, get up to $300 off select PCs at Staples. Ends 8/24.
WSGW, along with Star of the West Milling, Michigan Sugar, and American Crystal Sugar Beets, presents the Michigan Fruit Pie Competition at the Saginaw County Fair. You can win one of 3 cash prizes with your favorite homemade baked fruit pie. Contestants will be judged at the Saginaw County Fair on Tuesday, July the 30th. Now, you must be present to win. Deadline to submit your pie recipe for consideration is July the 25th. For more information and to enter, visit WSGW.com.
Yeah, I know we just did sports, but we got a little sports follow-up, so I thought we'd do a little sports-themed music here. With your morning team of Charlie and Mike and Jonathan and you, with Art Lewis 2 here in studio on WSGW. The time is 8:25.
You threw me off. I thought I'd come in early.
Nope, you are right on time. Thank you very much. Tomorrow, as we call it, the British Open, as they call it, the Open Championship. Yes, that will take place. Tiger Woods plans to play.
Yep.
People are wondering, can he not just play well, but can he be able to, walk the course for 4 rounds if he makes the cut and all that kind of stuff. On that note, apparently, Scottish golfer Colin Montgomery, in an interview with the Times of London recently, made a suggestion that he thought it might be time for Tiger to retire. Now, I don't know if he meant retire for good or maybe just retire from the Open Championship. But he said, aren't we there? I have thought we were past there. There's a time for all sportsmen to say goodbye, but it's very difficult to tell Tiger it's time to go. Yesterday, Tiger was asked about those comments from Colin Montgomery, and Tiger's response was this. Well, as a past champion, meaning of the British Open.
Yep, several times.
I'm exempt until I'm 60. Colin is not. He's not a past champion, so he's not exempt. So he doesn't get the opportunity to make that decision, but I do. Oh, Tiger Woods acing the return on.
Yes, indeed.
That is so good.
And golf is a different sport. If it's a team sport and there's a player that's kind of overstaying and taking part of the salary cap or whatever,
or
then
the Ryder Cup or something like that.
Yeah, then it's kind of okay. But golf's an individual sport.
Play till you can't anymore.
Yeah.
Like me.
Well, we'll start finding out tomorrow. Royal Troon is your host club for the Open.
Since there have been so many good sports stories this year, wouldn't that be a story if he comes out and wins? Take that, Colin.
And that would be the sports story of the year.
It would be. But then again, it's Tiger Woods. He's had
know.
other stories like it. So,
making sports stories of her own, Caitlin Clark from the WNBA, playing with the Indiana Fever, getting all that attention, playing well. She's now going to expand her sports opportunities. As the story says, she's going to be racing this weekend at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Wow.
Whoa.
That's an expansion.
That's
kind of, sort of.
I was going to say it's kind of, sort of, not quite.
Yeah. The Stewart Haas Racing team has announced that on the hood of Josh Berry's car is going to be the image of Caitlin Clark.
So she'll be right out front.
And here it is right there. It's kind of tough to see, but I picked a picture on our morning team page. Apparently, the primary sponsor of the racing team is Panini America, the world's largest sports and entertainment collectibles company. And they have produced some trading cards of Caitlin Clark. And so they're going to blow up one of the trading cards and use that as the image on the hood of Josh Berry's car.
And then they will produce models of Josh Berry's car to sell.
So wouldn't that be fun if he won the race?
Yep.
You'd say Caitlin Clark wins at Indy. He's a rookie too, like she is. So, and in fact, he is currently tops in the Rookie of the Year standings. That's a point system and things that they use, unlike what perhaps could happen with Caitlin Clark being voted Rookie of the Year. Don't know that, but you never know. But that's kind of a fun story. So
that's an interesting connection that it's through a sponsorship.
Yeah.
For the car.
Yeah. What else is new?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Imagine that. And we'll follow it though. We'll find out what happens on Sunday at the Indy Motor Speedway.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
In Europe, all vehicles utilizing artificial intelligence have to have the technology to curb speeding. It's actually something that has been proposed here in this country, and we actually did a poll on that too. But it's been discovered that the AI is doing more than just catching people speeding. There's actually access to cameras so you can see inside the car and you can see what people are doing. Uh-oh! Have a little on that and find out what you think about that coming up. With your morning team of Charlie and Mike and Jonathan and you. Weather forecast, a high of 77 today in the sunshine right now. We've got morning sunshine in 66. Let's get into the newsroom. And here's Mike Percha.
Thank you, Charlie. Good morning, everyone. No injuries were reported in a house fire in Hemlock yesterday. Fire crews from the Richland Township Fire Department responded to the 16,000 block of Doyle Street around 3:10 a.m. to find smoke coming from the home. According to fire officials, it began in the attic and may have been caused by an electrical issue, though the exact cause has not been determined at this time. The occupants of the house, 2 people and several pets, were able to evacuate safely before crews arrived. A drive-by shooting in Bad Axe Saturday resulted in charges against 2 of the city's residents. Police arrested 27-year-old DeMondre Williams and 41-year-old Jody Lee Tibbetts Saturday afternoon after a house was shot at around 1:45 that morning. Police say the pair pulled up to the house in the 300 block of South Silver Street and fired 11 rounds from a semi-automatic handgun. No one inside the house was injured. Police say the pair likely targeted the wrong home. Williams is charged with felony firearm discharge in or at a building, carrying a concealed weapon, and other felonies. Tibbetts is charged with weapons, firearm discharge in or at a building, carrying with unlawful intent, and carrying a concealed weapon. Their next court appearance is August 2nd for a preliminary hearing. The Michigan Department of Transportation is implementing an overnight closure on eastbound US 10 at the Mackinac Road overpass for beam setting. The work is part of a $32.8 million investment to rebuild US 10 from 7 Mile Road to Bay City. In addition to demolishing and rebuilding the Mackinac Road Bridge, crews will also build 2 roundabouts at the overpass. The work will start tonight around 8 o'clock, with the closure starting then, and is expected to last until about 5 o'clock the next morning. Traffic will be detoured via the Mackinac Road ramps on and off US 10. U.S. Congressman Dan Kildee, along with Senators Debbie Stabenow and Gary Peters, have introduced bipartisan legislation to address the housing shortage in Michigan. The Revitalizing Downtowns and Main Streets Act would help build more affordable housing by creating a new federal tax credit for converting vacant and obsolete office and commercial buildings for residential use. The credit would be distributed through the state housing finance agencies like the Michigan State Housing Agency, or MISHDA, to conversion projects to create more affordable housing, drive economic revitalization, and support Michigan's small businesses. Michigan has a lack of affordable housing and is 141,000 housing units short of demand, according to MISHDA. Congressman Kilday's bill to repurpose vacant and underutilized commercial buildings for housing would help build more affordable homes and drive investment in Michigan communities. The Humane Society of Midland County is hosting a pet-friendly fundraiser at the Midland Brewing Company tonight from 4:30 to 7 p.m. The annual Pints for Pups event will feature games, food, music by band Marsupial Cream Pie, raffles, and more. Entry is a donation of $15 to the Humane Society, which includes a pint glass and one free beer. The Midland Brewing Company is located at 5011 Saginaw Road in Midland. WSGW News Time 8:34.
Applied Innovation customer Lori Sanders Doherty, office administrator with Anderson, Augustino, and Keller, appreciates how Applied Innovation responds to her busy law firm.
Absolutely. They are very fast. And we've actually undergone 2 different leases where they've come in and replaced all of our equipment.
The uptime Applied Innovation provides is critical.
I'd say just the fact that we have our equipment working, we're able to get the job done, and we know who to call if something breaks. So, yeah, we have confidence that they'll take care of us.
So how do you benefit from having Applied Innovation as your office technology provider?
Then I don't have everybody screaming at me because their copier is broken or their printer is broken.
Well, let Applied Innovation provide maximum uptime along with more peace and quiet in your office. Call Applied Innovation today, 800-521-0983, or visit appliedinnovation.com. Applied Innovation. Fast, friendly, amazing.
WSGW News Time 8:35. Lightning caused a house fire in West Michigan's Jamestown Township, southwest of Grand Rapids, early Tuesday morning, destroying most of the home. Crews reportedly put the fire out within 30 minutes. It's being investigated. In West Michigan's Ottawa County, a bat has tested positive for rabies. It's the first case of rabies in an animal in the county this year. There have been 18 reported cases of animals with rabies across the state this year. The risk of exposure to a rabid bat is higher from May through September, when bats are more active. New technology is coming to the roads in Oakland County. They say they will keep more drivers safe from crashes. Here is Michigan News Network's Darylyn Horn.
The Road Commission is teaming up with Lawrence Tech University and P3 Mobility to create a transportation system called Connected Vehicle to Everything. They say it's a system that will be installed into road infrastructure, and the technology will be able to communicate information to drivers in real time.
That could be a vehicle that could be running a red light, that it could be could potentially T-bone you as you're driving.
Erin Milligan, CEO of P3 Mobility, says she believes in the next 2 to 5 years, most drivers will have the technology in their vehicles needed to interact with the new infrastructure.
But in the future, the vehicle itself will be able to react to that information.
Darylyn Horn for the Michigan News Network.
The State Police Houghton Lake Post has reopened a missing person complaint, although police say they don't have any new leads to share. 19-year-old Cassandra Durham went missing in the summer of 1987. She and her boyfriend left their home in Baltimore, Maryland, to travel for vacation. Cassandra told family they were in Roscommon visiting her boyfriend's grandparents. She did not indicate where they were going after visiting his grandparents. When her boyfriend returned to Maryland, Cassandra was not with him. Anyone with information about the case is asked to contact the Michigan State Police. And Charlie, one of the keynote speakers for Tech Week has been announced. Here's Ryan Recker.
Last year, the Grand Rapids Conference drew over 13,000 people. Andrea Romkema is the lead organizer for Tech Week Grand Rapids, and she's excited for their keynote speaker.
We are welcoming Stephen Dubner of Freakonomics fame. He is going to come and talk about technology trends and what he's seen in the space, and he's going to be kicking off a week with over 30 events.
Tech Week 2024, 2 months away, starting September 16th. Details can be found online, techweekgr.com. Ryan Recker for the Michigan News Network.
All right, Mike, thank you. On WSGW, it is a morning team Wednesday that continues along. We continue into the forecasting now. And an update from WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Montrow.
Quite a comfortable day is ahead as far as our humidity and temperatures go. We have a high of 77 today. Dew points falling back into the 50s, all thanks to the pattern change finally starting to settle in. And we still have a couple of isolated showers in the forecast for today. Even an isolated thunderstorm is possible too, but we'd expect any storm activity to stay below severe limits going into today. As we go into tonight, we'll have mostly clear skies, low of 54, just a few clouds lingering across the thumb. Specifically, also on Thursday in the thumb, we're still maintaining a 10% chance of showers. Otherwise, conditions very dry going into your Thursday. Mostly sunny, of a high of 75 tomorrow, 80 and sunny on Friday. Humidity still staying low. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Rising barometer 2990, west wind averages 6. It's 66 at WSGW. Your connection to the Great Lakes Bay region and your connection to the world. Just adding the notes so you're aware. A few counties still with flood warnings in some of the southern sections of the state. Don't think there's anything that is causing problems, just rivers that are still above flood stage. And even if just an inch above, flood warnings will exist. Beach hazard statements. If you're along the Lake Michigan shoreline today, roughly directly to the west to the southwest corner of Berrien County, even up around Schoolcraft and Alger County in the UP, you got some beach hazard statements. So everything's not perfect. But around here, everything seems to be okay. But again, if you have family or friends, or maybe you're heading in that direction, maybe you're listening right now because you are there, since you can listen with the different ways that you can be listening to us, even if you're not in the immediate broadcast area of radio frequencies. We'll keep you up to date here on WSGW.
Do you know that air duct cleaning is one of the most affordable home improvements you can make? Having your air ducts professionally cleaned by Modernistic means you'll dust less, your HVAC system will run more efficiently, and most importantly, you and your family will breathe cleaner, healthier air.
Modernistic, simple and quick. We're the first with experience and quality.
Schedule at Modernistic.com and get $75 off air duct cleaning with offer code FRESH75.
As your morning team continues with Charlie and Mike and Jonathan and you, continuing on 100.5 and 790, we were just talking about radio listening through Siri, through Alexa, and through WSGW.com. That does allow a lot of the listening that happens outside of our broadcast area, if you will. Thanks to Stormaster Exteriors supporting the online listening. Stormaster Exteriors, reliable gutters can help to fortify your home against the damaging effects of rainwater, don't you know? You'll be protected against costly repairs, and Stormaster Exteriors can do the gutter work for you. Find out online with StormasterExteriors.com. Also, your studio sponsorship of Stormaster Exteriors. For the show itself, Paintbull is your sponsor. Paintbull now offering an exclusive Icon Rock Clear coating, the most advanced vehicle coating system in the world. 35 times thicker, 75 times stronger, and 20 times more UV protected than just a ceramic coating, for example. Paintbull can help you on Bay Road north of Shattuck and Saginaw. Can help you online at paintbullrepair.com. 841. Need to throw this out real quick. With what happened over the weekend with the shooting incident with former President Trump and everything. A lot of news coverage happened on the weekend, but it also extended into Monday, as you can imagine. And on MSNBC, their program Morning Joe with the hosts Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, they were not on the air. MSNBC said, we're just going to do a regular news feed. We're not going to have them on. Some say they were perhaps worried of what they might say.
Yep.
Joe Scarborough's spoken up about that. He says, this is his quote. Next time that we are told there will be a news feed replacing us, we will be in our chairs. And the news feed will be on us, or they can get somebody else to host the show. Okay, go ahead and try that, Joe.
Bye.
And see what works for you. Yeah.
And they always have,
guess what?
over-exaggerated their import.
Anytime any person over-exaggerates their import, usually they find out that, you know what? the world
Not so important.
the world still revolves.
Yeah.
It's 8:43 here on WSGW. In Europe, and this was just effective on July 7th, although I guess there's been some test cases going on. And we did a poll on this. So in Europe, all cars have to be fitted with some type of speed limiting AI, artificial intelligence technology. There's new rules that have been in place in the European Union. There's been talk about that actually in this country. Remember, we ran a poll on that asking.
Yeah, I did a show on it too.
Stuff. Yeah. So in some cases, the vehicle could be slowed down for you. Just depends on what kind of assistance is being. I guess there's like 3 tiers. They talk about the intelligent speed assistance, ISA. There's the informative ISA, which is just a warning sound and a message saying, "Hey, you're going over the speed limit." I think that's what was first talked about in this
A lot of cars have
country.
that already.
Yeah,
you can turn it on or off, but it's there.
There's another level called the supportive ISA, which works by increasing the force on the accelerator, which means that you have to have more force in order for you to accelerate.
But you can.
You can, but at least you know, oh, I must be doing something because I suddenly. Or there's the intervening ISA, which means you could actually have the vehicle be slowed down for you.
Like positive train control.
Yeah, whether you want it or not.
That sounds dangerous to me.
You know, in some cases, I suppose it could be.
Depends how it slows you down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it just slams on the brakes, no, that's dangerous. But
yeah,
and that's part of all the conversation. But it is all enforced and all member of the EU states, except for Britain. Britain actually opted out of this.
Yeah.
But of course, just as we say, remember the example we use, if California passes some kind of vehicle law, it generally is going to happen that everyone's going to experience it
only because they don't want to build 2 different types of
Exactly.
vehicles. I mean, it's,
So this is what's going on. The option in Britain is to what you already referenced, Art, is they have to be able to turn these systems
you
off.
can't turn it off. Yeah.
What they've also talked about, though, and I don't know if this is something they knew about, but it's starting to get some attention because people are now finding out about it because it's making some news, is that part of the AI speed system is to have cameras that can see inside your car.
That's dystopian.
Yeah. And what happened is they did a test case, I guess, last year. And not only were these cameras to use to find speeding, but they realized, hey, we can see what people are doing. And in the European Union, just as we have here in this country, if you are using technology like a smartphone while you're driving, you're going to get busted. Well, because these cameras are seeing everything that's going on inside the vehicle, in just 3 days in Cornwall last year, 300 motorists were caught in 3 days.
Wow.
Don't think our privacy, rights would allow that here.
Well, that's what people are saying. Whoa. In fact, they even have tried out cameras after this took place in Greater Manchester, in Sussex, and Durham, and the similar results happened. Authorities are saying, yeah, we can't be everywhere to see inside every vehicle, but now we can. In fact, some people who are supporting this say, look, we had penalties. It was about a $250 fine. Plus there were penalty points put on people's licenses if they were breaking laws against using technology. But many drivers still were doing it. They didn't care.
Well, they still do it here.
Yeah, true. But now they're catching more people. AI-equipped cameras that can automatically detect drivers who are breaking these speeding laws are now offering chances for other drivers to be busted for breaking other laws that we did not know about. That's what authorities are saying. Whoa. So
Not a fan of that.
Yeah, let's put that poll up here and see what happens.
I don't think we.
I guess
I think we can guess.
Yeah. I knew about the speeding, but this is the first I heard when I saw this article that was kind of tied together saying, oh, by the way, this also is what's happening. They have discovered.
What was the thought behind putting cameras inside the vehicle in the first place?
Again, they talk about the speeding here. And I guess was it trained on like a speedometer or something, or were they?
Well, then you wouldn't be able to see what the driver's doing.
Yeah, but it's almost like an offshoot. Say,
Besides,
oh, by the way, we
have
can
to have
see.
a camera to do that.
I wouldn't think so.
That's electronic. You go right into the system.
Oops, we invaded your privacy.
Yeah.
How did that end up there?
Yeah.
Oops, no, not oops.
No.
Yeah. And I get it too. And the only reference they make here is that, it helps to monitor when people are going over the speed limit. Why it's needed, I don't know. Maybe it's different. Maybe how they pass the law or something, I don't know. But this is an offshoot. Don't know if it's going to continue, but man, can you imagine 300 people in 3 days?
I wouldn't doubt we'll find some form of it someday. I mean, we already have speed warnings in some cars that you can turn on or off.
Yeah. Yep. But is there some way to advance that technology if people are using their smartphones?
I'm sure there is.
To?
I'm sure there is.
What is it?
Some kind of technology. It's probably out there.
I'm trying to think of.
I don't know if the technology would be in the car to prevent that kind of thing. I wonder if it would be in the phone, because there have been, right, if you remember when Pokemon Go was a big phenomenon.
Oh yeah.
There would be a notification that pops up. Hey, you look like you're driving or in a vehicle, and there was an option. I'm a passenger, but it puts a pause on what you're doing to.
And how would you know that, young man?
Because I was a passenger in a vehicle playing Pokemon Go.
Oh, okay, you were a passenger. All right, just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
Were you one of those who came into our parking lot and got out and started searching? Because we had that happen here.
Yeah.
No.
Several people actually did.
Supposed to be here.
That is interesting, though. So it would pop up, and so you would know. It would be a warning to you.
The phone knows, hey, you're going pretty fast here.
Yeah. But would that translate to authorities being able to?
Well, how is that any different than my watch telling me it's time to get up and get moving, and knows when I do, and knows, when I sleep, and knows all that stuff here on my wrist.
So Google knows all of that too.
Yeah, probably. No, Samsung in this case.
Yeah.
Well, stay tuned. Don't know. I don't think this would ever advance in this country just because, we'd put a stop on that quickly, I would think, but you never know. It is time to start going up to the hour, up to the minute news, business, weather, sports on WSGW. Time is 8:50.
From Michigan News Source, I'm Cheryl Fritz. Our top story this hour, they're often called flushable wipes, but they're anything but flushable. There is a new state law that punishes people who send them down the toilet. These wipes cause trouble for wastewater treatment plants and the pipes buried near your homes. Flushable wipes are costly for everyone, including cities that need to fix issues at wastewater sites and customers who experience plumbing problems. The new state law calls for honesty from wipe manufacturers to bring costs down for everyone, but if you flush after these changes, you may be fined. A new Michigan law is requiring manufacturers to label wipes to include the words "do not flush" and create a symbol that will also warn buyers, or they can no longer be sold. Vice President Kamala Harris will be in Kalamazoo today. Tim Knight has the story.
The vice president will take part in a moderated discussion with Olivia Troy, who worked under former Vice President Mike Pence. This will be Harris's fourth visit to Michigan this year and her seventh since taking office in 2021. For Michigan News Source, I'm Tim Knight.
A fast-moving summer storm Saturday night on Lake Michigan left carnage in its path after 3 huge sailboats snapped masts and a 4th boat had to rescue a man after he fell overboard, all in the middle of the night under total darkness during the first day of the Chicago to Mackinac race. Disaster was averted after Madcap responded to a man overboard reported from Callisto. Both boats resumed racing the 333 statute mile race without injury. In addition to usual suspects, masts broken on the 65-foot Sagamore, along with the 45-foot Sapphire. No injuries were reported, according to the communications director for the Chicago to Mackinac race. For Michigan News Source, I'm Cheryl Fritz.
On CBS News at 9 o'clock, former rivals unite to back former President Donald Trump at the Republican National Convention. Vice President Harris issues a warning about new rival and Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, and the government opens an investigation into Secret Service's handling of security at the rally where the former president was shot.
We're getting those stories all prepared for you from CBS coming up at 9 o'clock on WSGW as we're continuing to go up to that hour, and we do so with this up-to-the-minute Fox Business Report at 8:53.
I'm Stuart Varley, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Citizens Financial Group shares are narrowly higher after the company's earnings matched expectations and it made more money from its capital markets, wealth, and card businesses. U.S. Bancorp shares are higher after its quarter topped expectations. Johnson & Johnson's earnings and revenue both top forecast, but J&J has lowered expectations for this year, and the stock is lower. Spirit Airlines is lowering expectations for its quarter because it's making less from baggage fees, food, and other charges not included in ticket prices. Drug maker Roche is reporting positive results in early tests of a weight loss pill. The market is currently dominated by Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly, which make injectable medications. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Posilda, invested in you.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013, 800-444-2013, or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-444-2013.
It is up to the hour, and you're up to the minute weather on WSGW. At 8:54, here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Quite a comfortable day is ahead as far as our humidity and temperatures go. We have a high of 77 today. Dew points falling back into the 50s, all thanks to the pattern change finally starting to settle in. And we still have a couple of isolated showers in the forecast for today. Even an isolated thunderstorm is possible too, but we'd expect any storm activity to stay below severe limits going into today. As we go into tonight, we'll have mostly clear skies, a low of 54, just a few clouds lingering across the thumb specifically. Also on Thursday in the thumb, we're still maintaining a 10% chance of showers. Otherwise, conditions very dry going into your Thursday. Mostly sunny, of a high of 75 tomorrow, 80 and sunny on Friday. Humidity still staying low. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Rising barometric pressure of 2990. West wind averaging 6. 66 at WSGW. Your connection to the Great Lakes Bay region. Your connection to the world.
My mom's my best friend. A beacon of strength, very independent, but she's getting older. And when we got the call, your mother's had a fall, we knew she needed help.
Michigan Home Care, we are here for you, ensuring you and your precious loved ones live your best independent lives. From light housekeeping to personal care, meals, and medications. When it's time to plan for your loved ones at home care, trust Michigan Home Care. Call 989-245-7488 or online at michiganhomecarellc.com.
Incoming transmission from RocketGrabPlus.com.
Looking to relax? Then we have a fantastic deal for you this week at RocketGrabPlus.com. Get half off a gift certificate to the Healing Room Wellness and Med Spa in Saginaw. Good for use in the sauna, float tank, salt rooms, and more. A $75 value, yours for only $37.50. Plus, from now through August, new members at the Healing Room Wellness and Med Spa can get their first month of membership for only $1. Get your hands on this amazing offer before it's gone, exclusively from RocketGrabPlus.com.
Transmission terminated.
Tigers Kids Club memberships presented by Bally Sports Detroit and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan are on sale now. Join the next generation of Tigers fans and enjoy special insider access, exclusive perks, awesome Tigers gear, and more. For more information and to join, visit tigers.com/kids club.
News on the way at 9 o'clock on WSGW, and that means after the news, Art Lewis will be on the way.
9 o'clock, we've got open phones for you. 10 o'clock, we talk to Tony Stamas from the Midland Business Alliance. And at 11 o'clock, the YMCA of Saginaw will be the subject of focus, all coming up.
We're looking forward to it, as we always do, on WSGW. Terry Henney and his farm show as well. And again today and tomorrow, for that matter, remember, no Tigers baseball. Tigers, because of the All-Star break, off until Friday. In the meantime, we're ready to get out in song for you. A song that, once again, proves the diversity. I mean, Monday we did Whitney Houston, remember that? Heartbreak Hotel for our song that peaked at number 2 Monday. little R&B for you. Yesterday, kind of the adult contemporary, kind of middle of the road. The honor song for Dave Loggins, Please Come to Boston, because of his death. I got a birthday we're going to celebrate, and we're going to rock you to get out of here this morning, as he is celebrating birthday number 75 today. And it's from the British group Black Sabbath. And Geezer Butler, the bassist, is 75 years old today. So as I said, the diversity that we show with you here on your morning team is a prime example from what we were doing the last couple of days to what we do for you now for Geezer Butler and his 71st birthday today. And remember, on the vocals, Ozzy Osbourne. Paranoid, what is this, 1970? Classic Black Sabbath. Some great bass work in the song. Again, Geezer Butler, the bassist for Black Sabbath, birthday 75 today. And listen to Ozzy belt out the lyrics. You can actually understand Ozzy. Imagine that. It is on to the news, on to the Art Lewis Show on WSGW, your Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Republicans come together to back the party's new presidential